Good afternoon. Welcome to ESPN Plus's coverage of Big Sky Conference football this afternoon. It's the Bengals of Idaho State playing host to the Mustangs of Cal Poly in the ICCU Dome here in Pocatello, Idaho. I'm Scott Gross, and alongside is former Bengal linebacker Cody Graves, and a big matchup today in the Big Sky Conference for these two schools, Cody. The Mustangs trying to break a 4-game losing streak. The Bengals trying to extend to a 2-game win streak.
Yeah, Idaho State especially trying to get some wins here on the back half of the season because of some tough games to start off this conference schedule for them.
And take a look at the matchup this afternoon. Cal Poly and ISU both 3-6, but that overtime, or that late win, I should say, against UC Davis, number 6 last week was huge, and the Bengals hope to carry that momentum in. When you look at the coaching matchups, it's old versus new. Paul Wolf, he's been around the Big Sky Conference for a while. Of course, Cody Hawkins just in his 3rd season here as the head coach of Idaho State, but very familiar with Paul Wolf and Cal Poly.
Yeah, and both coaches doing whatever they can to get their schools over the hump, and honestly, both coaches doing a great job. Cal Poly is much improved from last year, and Idaho State, while the record might not say they're improved from last year because last year was an easier schedule, this year I can tell you this Idaho State team is a tough team to beat.
And so if we take a look, Cody Hawkins had some thoughts on the game in his press conference this week, and let's see if we can take a listen in to what Cody Hawkins had to say about the matchup with the Mustangs.
They're playing really stout defense. They're challenging people on the perimeter. They're being really physical in the box. Last year they were kind of a lighter box team. They would try to keep everything in front of them, and then they made the switch to say, no, we're gonna build a brick wall and try to make you beat us. And what we've been able to do on the ground, we're leading the conference in yards per carry. Not rush attempts, but when we run the ball, we're getting more yards than most people on average. But that's a credit to the work that those guys up front have put in, and a huge credit to Dason being able to make those plays happen.
To get a feel. Well, let's take a look. The Idaho State University swept the Big Sky Conference Players of the Week. Of course, Dason Brooks, Offensive Player of the Week for the 2nd time this year, 219 yards. He was huge for the Bengals last week, Cody.
Yeah, and absolutely, and it was the first time we've seen Dason Brooks really look like himself this year since week 1 at UNLV.
And Nathan Reynolds, he was the guy who saved the game for Idaho State week. The linebacker was the Defensive Player of the Week, and he got that interception with 20 seconds left to seal the win. And then the man of the hour, his 4th Big Sky Conference Special Teams Player of the Week, Trajan Sinatra, 50-yard field goal with 52 seconds left. And boy, it was just a dynamic finish for ISU.
Oh, yeah, ice in Trajan Sinatra's veins to hit that one, because if he misses that one, the game's over, and that was one I couldn't watch.
In the Big Sky today, of course, it starts out with Montana State, each at 5-0. UC Davis at 4-1. Sac State, Eastern Washington at 3-2. You can see a bevy of teams there. 3 teams tied at 2-3. Then Weber at 1-3, and the bottom of the conference, Portland State, Cal Poly, and Northern Colorado at 1-4. And on the scoreboard this afternoon, got some games underway. Eastern Washington was down just by 8 at Montana at halftime. Montana State was up big on Weber, and you can see the rest of the schedule. The big game, UC Davis at Idaho. We'll be back with the kickoff after this break on ESPN+. ICCU Dome. It's Big Sky Conference football this afternoon as the Idaho State Bengals play host to the Mustangs of Cal Poly. I'm Scott Gross along with Cody Graves, and we're just about ready to go here. We've had the coin toss, and Cody, Cal Poly won and they deferred, so Idaho State going to get their hands on the ball first here this afternoon. And I think it's critical that we see ISU do what they did last week. We saw them score on that first drive of the day, kind of set that tone. Do you get the feeling if the Bengals could find a way to get up maybe a couple of scores, puts a lot more pressure on Cal Poly than they would really like to face?
Yeah, this Cal Poly team can play from behind, but you just got to wonder where the confidence is right now with this Cal Poly team losing 4 in a row and then coming on the road right now. And Idaho State's got to play with some confidence, and we've seen Idaho State struggle at times this year playing with the lead. But right now, I mean, with the way that Dason Brooks is running the football, you have to, if you get a lead, you just got to ride him and ride your workhorse until the end of this game.
Well, the Idaho State Bengals are going to hit the field here this afternoon for Hall of Fame weekend, and we hope to have a Hall of Famer join us maybe in the third quarter. Dan Taylor from the 1981 National Championship team here at Idaho State, an offensive lineman, good friend, proud to call him that. Went into the Hall of Fame today. We got to talk yesterday a couple of times. Dan spoke to the team yesterday morning after practice at Idaho State. So the Bengals will hit the field today in their white helmets, I should say, with the black block IS on the side, the black jerseys with the white numerals trimmed in orange, and the white pants. Cal Poly will come out with the Kelly green helmets, the white jerseys with the green numbers and the gold pants. And it will be Idaho State moving from left to right. Will Davis, Messiah Moye, Alex Ramirez, Jake Hellman, Jorgen Miller across that offensive line. We talked about them a little bit ago. This offensive line is great. Zion Nunnally, Mike Shulikov will be the wideouts. Damian Morgan, Ian Duarte, your slot guys. Dason Brooks will be in the backfield, and Jordan Cook will trigger this ISU offense. Victory Johnson, Josh Nwaluwafe, along with Bobby Pyland and Thomas Buda across that defensive front for Cal Poly. Kenny Olson, Mike D'Amato, Troy Bean are the linebackers, and here's the kick. It's going to be taken on the bounce on the near side by Ian Duarte. Duarte out across the 25, and he'll be drugged down there at about the 26-yard line. And coming up to make the stop for Cal Poly was number 20. So let's talk about our Jeremiah Johnson Brewing Company keys to the game first of all. And Cody, you got those for us.
Yeah, for Idaho State, I think it's going to be important for them to use the momentum from last week. We talked about it, and then make Cal Poly pay for their mistakes. If they have a busted coverage or if they have a turnover, just make them pay for it and get points.
Okay, here we go. First snap of the afternoon for Idaho State. And it's going to be a little play action, and it's a pump. And they're going deep, and they've got Damian Morgan, and it was overthrown by Jordan Cook. Dame Morgan was absolutely wide open.
And we just talked about making them pay for mistakes, and right there you have busted coverage. Damian Morgan wide open. And those are the spots that Jordan Cook, you have him wide open, just put a little more air on it, and no one's coming over. You had no one on the back end that could have intercepted that pass. He could have fair caught it. Just put a little more air on that if you're Jordan Cook.
And that's kind of the thing, right? Jordan has this big, strong arm, and sometimes you got to have a little more finesse. Well, he's going to fire a slant pattern here, and he's going to have it complete, and that's turning out to be one of his favorite targets. Ian Duarte, the slot man on the other side, with his 36th reception of the season, and that's enough for a Mountain America Credit Union first down. Mountain America Credit Union helping guide members through life's financial journey and donating $50 to Operation Warm in East Idaho with every Bengal first down. So call it a gain of 11, 1st and 10 for Idaho State. Double wides to either side. Brooks in the backfield. It's going to be a pass out to the far side this time. And that reception looks to be Zion Nunnally. Yeah, Zion Nunnally. And going to be pushed out of bounds over there by Cal Poly's Delmar Turner. Safety out of Lemoore, California. And another Mountain America Credit Union first down. So the ball at the 49. Idaho State looking to get into plus territory here on their fourth snap of the afternoon. Plenty of time. Going deep. He's looking down the far sideline, and the ball overthrown. And there's a penalty flag. And at the very least, defensive holding. But from the timing that came in, it's going to be pass interference, you do believe. Zion Nunnally, the intended receiver on that far side. And it is pass interference against the Mustangs. Looked like the guy that got flagged on that might be Calvin Moore.
Idaho State's offense doing whatever they want right now and haven't even chosen to give Dason Brooks the ball yet this drive.
Greg Wilson is our referee today. Here's Dason Brooks with the first carry, and Dason Brooks finds his way close to first down territory, and I think he's going to have it at the 25-yard line, and it is another Mountain America Credit Union first down. And right now, this Mustang defense has no answer for whatever ISU was throwing at them.
Yeah, and I was curious to see how Cal Poly was going to play this ISU offense, because some teams this year have had success just playing physical man on the outside and loading up the box. But right now, Cal Poly playing some soft zone and letting some of the quick slants or even some of the stop routes on the outside just be gimmies.
We've got a timeout on the field with the injury. We'll check it. We'll be back after this timeout on KISU FM and ESPN+. Taking a look at the reigning Big Sky Conference Offensive Player of the Week, Dason Brooks, 24 carries, 219 yards last week. Cody Graves, he was amazing.
Yeah, I think he had 120 yards in the first quarter. It looked like he was going to go for 300 the way that game was going.
First down, Bengals. They're in the red zone just outside the red zone at the 24. Here's Dason Brooks. He's got the corner. Dason Brooks drug down from behind. It's going to be a gain of about 7. And the guy making the final stop on that play is one of our players to watch, and that is Mikey D'Amato. And another injury for the Mustangs. The first injury was their defensive end, the rush in Victory Johnson.
Yeah, and this one looks like their weak side
Kenny
linebacker,
Olsen.
Kenny Olsen, and
Yeah.
that's a huge loss. Because between him and Mikey D'Amato, I mean, it's two very good inside linebackers for this Cal Poly team. I love the way that Kenny Olsen plays. He flies around, and he can rush the passer as well. We talked about Mikey D'Amato, how good he is rushing the passer. You don't want to say that they're old school linebackers because they are good stopping the football, but that would be a huge loss for Cal Poly.
Well, with another injury, we're going to take another timeout here. It's no score first quarter. We're back after this timeout on KISU FM and ESPN+.
Second down and 3.
17-yard line of Cal Poly. And Jordan Cook, the starting quarterback for Idaho State, has been under a little pressure, but, he has responded and played very well last week. He's going for the corner. Shulikov, catch, touchdown, Idaho State. The Idaho State Bengals scored first on the opening drive. Then with each touchdown this season scored by the Bengals, ICCU is going to donate $200 to student athletes at Idaho State, helping members achieve success. ICCU is a proud supporter of Idaho State athletics, and just a very efficient scoring drive to open the game.
Yeah, and I talked about how some teams have had success playing man, and if you're gonna press these outside receivers, you have to be strong and get them off their routes immediately. Right there, Shulikov just able to beat, because if he's even running with you, you don't have him pushed out at the time, he's gonna find a way to come up with 50-50 balls. 7th touchdown reception of the year for Mike Shulikov, and we're going to take a look at the replay. And again, just bigger, stronger, taller. I mean, he just makes the plays. Yeah, you can have an idea on how to stop a guy, but when time comes down, it's easy to say you can do something, but it's much tougher to do it in reality. And to cover a 6'6" receiver who's the high jump champion of the Big Sky, it's not easy, and it's hard to find someone that can cover it.
Yeah, it's 6'6". He's something else. Bengals covered 74 yards in 6 plays. It took 2 minutes. The 17-yard touchdown pass, the 12th, as I said, touchdown pass by Jordan Cook, the 7th reception for a TD this season for Mike Shulikov. And he already came in number 3 in the Big Sky Conference with 6 touchdown receptions on the year. So, with that being said, Idaho State has the early 7-0 lead, and the Bengals, Trajan Sinatra will boot it away. Actually, they had Gabe Russo on the kickoff that time, not Mason Lindberg. Mason Lindberg has been the usual kickoff man, but Gabe Russo there, and a nice job. So here we get a look at Cal Poly. It'll be Jazdav Banwait at the left tackle, Anthony Patt, Rayson Delgatti, Tanner Hirschler, Charlie Adams across that offensive front, Logan Boer at one right wide receiver, along with Michael Briscoe, Brooks Wheatley in the slot. Alec Marshall is the tight end. Ty Diffenbach, we believe, will be the starting quarterback. He's out there, number 7, 6'6", 220-pound redshirt sophomore. He's going to fire a pass out into the flat for the far side, and that's Michael Briscoe. And just like that, they're going to pick up a neat 12 yards, get it out to the 37, and a quick hitter for the Mustangs gives them a first down. Trey Shorty pushed him out of bounds. So Michael Briscoe, look at those numbers, 387 receptions, 698 yards.
Big guy, good route runner, but finds ways to beat you over the top and beat you over the middle.
Here's a running play, and that's going to break into the second level, and that is, I believe that's Tyree Washington, number 22, yes. Stop on the play by our other player to watch defensively for Idaho State. That's Rylan Leathers. And if Leathers is making tackles on running plays, that's not necessarily a good thing for this Bengal defense.
Now, Idaho State, if they're going to have light boxes, they're going to have to find a way to stop the run, especially early on in the down and distance, and win on those first and second downs, which they've struggled with this year.
Washington's averaging over 4 yards a rush, and he picked up a chunk there of 10 yards. Diffenbach back to throw, looking far sideline, and overthrown and incomplete.
Gabe Tahir on the coverage, and Gabe Tahir has played very well on the outside, the transfer from Boise State. And really, both these corners for Idaho State have played really well this year. You haven't, especially with Jackson Daniels coming back,
yeah.
Like, they have not been getting picked on. Usually there's one corner that gets picked on, and since he's been back, I mean, it's been tough to get things on the outside for teams in the past game.
That pass was intended for Logan Boer out of Long Beach, California. It'll bring up a second down and 10 for the Mustangs from their own 47-yard line. They move right to left here in the first quarter. This time they're going to try the running play again, and the Bengals will have nothing of that as they are going to stack up Tyree Washington. The 215-pound redshirt junior stopped at the line of scrimmage, and it'll be third down and 10. Okay, so here we go. This third down offense for Cal Poly is 10th in the Big Sky Conference. They only convert 33.6% of the time. That puts even more added pressure on this Bengal defense to get off the field on third down, I believe.
Yeah, and Idaho State hasn't had great third down defense this year, and Cal Poly, it makes sense. There really hasn't been much consistency with quarterback throughout the year like we talked about, and it shows. But Idaho State is going to have to figure out a way. I think they're going to manufacture some pressure here.
Empty backfield, 3 receivers left, 2 to the right or the boundary side. And there's going to be movement. I think, yeah, that's going to be movement. Somebody on the right side of that offensive line jumped too early, and I think it was Herschler and Adams, both the right guard and tackle, both kind of came out of their stance early. So that'll back them up 5. The false start will make it now third down and 15.
Yeah, just jumped a little bit. Saw Cam Willis showing. I like how Idaho State showing a little different look with having Cam Willis, who's wearing 25 today, having him off the ball. Probably the best edge rusher for Idaho State, just moving him around and throwing different stunts. They got him over the center right now. Let's see what Idaho State dials up.
Bengals are 6th in the conference on third down conversion defense, and they're not going to give one up here. They did complete the pass to Logan Boer, but stop on the play made by Idaho State's
interesting spot on
the
interesting spot on the field. I wonder if it was a discussion to go for it with picking up about almost 10 there, with being at midfield and knowing that this Idaho State defense is this Idaho State offense is going to be hard to stop. I'll be surprised if this is the last time, if they're in this position, the last time they punt it with a achievable fourth down.
Jesse Ehrlich is the punter. And back waving on the fair catch is Ian Duarte. So the Bengals defense, they don't hold them to a 3 and out, but they force the punt, and Idaho State with the early 7-0 lead here. 10:02 to go first quarter will get the ball back in their possession. Not great field position. They'll start at their own 9-yard line on the far hash mark, but if they can move the ball like they did in that first possession, I don't know if it's going to matter where they start today.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see if Cal Poly's defense was keeping it pretty vanilla, knowing when Idaho State was going to be on the script. The first script did about 15 plays, and start mixing it up once Idaho State is going to have to call plays from the sideline.
Well, the Bengals have put 3 receivers over here to the right side. That's the wide side of the field. Dason Brooks stays in the backfield, and Dason's going to take it. And Dason meets a man at about the 14-yard line and keeps that pile moving all the way out to the 18-yard line. Pure power.
Yeah, power, really good balance. And how about this Idaho State offensive line?
Oh.
Just getting behind him. Mikey D'Amato doing everything he can. But when you get big Will Davis behind Dason Brooks, that's tough to stop.
Here's Brooks trying to pop it outside. He's got contact at the line of scrimmage or just behind, but falls forward, picks up a Mountain America Credit Union first line. And, you talk about this offensive line, they're missing probably their best guy in striker Rashid. Jorgen Miller's getting the start at right tackle there and helping him on that right side, as well as Jake Hellman.
Yeah, arguably one of the best offensive players for Idaho State, but in years past, I would cripple Idaho State's offensive line, but you have a guy who's started a lot of games able to fill in Jorgen Miller.
Here is Dason Brooks. Makes a man miss. Dason Brooks, second level, and he'll grit it out across the 35 to the 36-yard line. That's going to be a gain of 15 yards and another Idaho State Mountain America Credit Union first down.
See if we get a look at it again. I mean, it looked like Dason Brooks gave a little shimmy. Just juked the defender out of his shoes to get him an extra about 10 yards.
Well, if anybody can do it, it'd be him, I'll tell you that. So again, trips out here to the right. And this time it's a flea flicker. They flip it back to Jordan Cook. He's going downfield, and that play just never really developed. But they gave the handoff to Dason Brooks, and he tossed it right back to Cook. But a good job there by the Mustangs, and I think that was our guy Mikey D'Amato breaking that thing up, coming up the middle, and it was D'Amato and also JT Houston, defensive end, in there playing for Victory Johnson, who went out with an injury earlier. So nice camera work there by our crew here, and it's second down and 10 for Idaho State from their own 37-yard line. Pressure coming off the left side, pass downfield, it's caught, and that's going to be another first down for Idaho State. That pass is going to be complete to Jonah Burton.
I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, great throw by Jordan Cook here. He throws this ball before Burton's even out on his break, just knowing where he had leverage. Great job by Burton getting out his break, and a better job by Cook getting that ball out.
Burton out of Simi Valley, California, redshirt junior. Boy, I'd love to have that guy around the Bengals would next season. Another Mountain America Credit Union first down. Idaho State moving the ball well. And there's that pass on the far side, and got it to Jonah Burton again. So they found something apparently here that they feel like they can pick on somebody, the Bengals do on that far side.
Yeah, and all these slot receivers are very good. Jonah Burton, a little more experience than some of these young slots that are very talented, but Jonah Burton gives almost an extra strength and speed factor just off of how much football he's played, the transfer from Baylor.
Ball on the far hash mark. Call it the 37-yard line of the Mustangs. Bengals first and 10. Cook all day to throw. Now flushed. He'll rush to the near side. Sets up, looking, going, deep. He's got Morgan. Touchdown, Idaho State. Damian Morgan broke the pattern, went to the post, but we have a penalty flag down, and let's see.
And don't be surprised if this. Would they call a legal lineman downfield from there?
We shall see. If it stands, it's a touchdown. If it doesn't, well, the Bengals will do it all again. Let's take a look. And here comes our indication from and it was an illegal man downfield. Great call there by you, Cody Graves.
Yeah, I mean, in college you get a little more leeway. You get about 3 to 5 yards, but you can call it on a lot of plays. But right there, I mean, it's good to see Jordan Cook because we've seen him have a lot of success when the offense is on timing, but struggle during the scramble drill. And right there, he keeps his eyes downfield. Great job. Nunnally was open. Damian Morgan was open. Great job in the scramble drill. And we'll see if Idaho State can take advantage again and get in the end zone like they did the first time when they missed Damian Morgan on the wide open play on the start off the game.
First down from the Mustang 42. Pass right to the middle of the field. It's going to be caught. It's going to get the penalty back of 5 yards. Pass complete to Damian Morgan. You know, Damian has really become a real part of this offense as well. He was number 13 in the conference with 35 receptions coming in, number 14 in yards per game, about 43 yards per game. So make it a 2nd down and 10 now from the Mustang 37. Dason Brooks off the left hip of Jordan Cook. And they're going to fake it, and Jordan Cook is going to take it himself. Jordan Cook to the 20, and he'll go out of bounds just shy, right about the 20-yard line. But something we have not seen much of this year, and that was very nicely done by Jordan Cook.
Yeah, and I wondered if this is game plan. Kenny Olson just does a will blitz from the weak side, and when he sees that, just pulling that, and there was no one over there, just green turf for Jordan Cook.
Calvin Moore, the quarterback, pushed Cook out of bounds at the 21. That's a Mountain America Credit Union first down, and the Bengals just a yard outside the red zone here on 1st and 10. Slant over the middle. Damian Morgan, he's got it. He's inside the 10 down to about the 8. Stop made by Demel Turner. But that's another Idaho State first down, sponsored by Mountain America Credit Union. And now the Bengals have it 1st and goal at the 9-yard line. 5:50 to go first quarter, trying to build on a 7-0 lead. This offense is clicking. Here is Dason Brooks, and Brooks stopped after a gain of about 3, down close to the 6-yard line.
There's an injured player.
And we got player down. Trying to see who it is and where it is. And it looks like we're okay. Popped right up. So 2nd down and goal. Bengals go quick. Here's Dason Brooks. He'll try the left side of the line this time. Picks up another 3 yards, down to about the 3-yard line. 5:10. Clock moves. Bengals moving as well. Extremely efficient with this offense this afternoon. They've run, they've passed, they've thrown long, they've thrown short. The quarterback has run. And it's 3rd and goal from the 3. And it's going to be Jordan Cook. And Jordan Cook, I believe, is in. Touchdown, Idaho State. That'll be the first rushing touchdown of the season for Idaho State's quarterback, Jordan Cook. And that is an ICCU touchdown, and another $200 to student athletes at Idaho State, courtesy of ICCU. Here, take a look at this replay. Jordan Cook, very decisive on this run.
Yeah, very decisive. Sees that there's open space, that everyone's green dogging on Dason Brooks there. Right there, just does enough to get in the end zone.
Trajan Sinatra in for the extra point try. Sinatra nearly perfect on the year on his extra points. And that's good, and that is a 14-0 lead for Idaho State. 4:53 to go here in the first quarter. Back after this timeout on KISU-FM and ESPN+. Support for ISU Athletics comes from the Idaho Department of Agriculture and Invasive Species of Idaho, reminding Bengal fans that to tackle invasive species and protect Idaho's waters, every watercraft, including boats, paddleboards, and kayaks, must be cleaned, drained, and dried after every use. So Idaho State scoring drive went down on their 2nd possession with 91 yards in 12 plays, 5 minutes, 9 seconds, and a 3-yard touchdown run by the Bengal quarterback, Jordan Cook, to give Idaho State the 14-0 lead. And here is the kickoff, and it's bouncing around inside the 5, and Trey Shorty is there to stop him at the 5-yard line. And what a great effort by that Bengal special teams. And, you know, we've talked about it, Cody. Special teams is a huge part of this Bengal program.
Huge part, and it really was the difference last week against UC Davis, a team that's usually really good on special teams in Davis, and a team in the pre-Cody Hawkins era has not been good on special teams, Idaho State. Now they're winning games because of special teams.
Bengals last week had a block punt for a touchdown. Isaiah Cook with the block and a recovery by Aiden Garcia. Yeah. Jake East blocked an extra point. First score of the day, which was huge. Yeah. And then the 50-yard field goal by Sinatra to win it. So here we go. First down for the Mustangs and Ty Diffenbach. They give the handoff to Tyree Washington. He'll spin off a tackle, end up with a gain of about 4 out to the 9-yard line. But that was tough sledding there for the running back Tyree Washington. youngster out of Stockton, California. Looked like the guy that got in there and tripped him up. Might have been Gabe Tahir that really came up from his corner spot and got low and tripped him up. So 2nd down and 6 for the Mustangs from their own 9-yard line, trailing 14-0. 4:10 to go here, quarter number 1. Back to throw, Diffenbach. Pass comes to the near side. That's Washington. He'll be shoved out of bounds over here on the near side by Trey Shorty.
And
nice
that's
read.
and that's a huge first down for Cal Poly. Being backed up in their end zone and getting that first down, because 3 and outs will kill you against a high-powered offense like Idaho State, and getting the ball back to Jordan Cook the way that Idaho State's offense is moving right now.
So it's going to be first down here. A little play action. Diffenbach going deep. He's got his man Logan Boer, or check it. That is not Boer. Trying to catch the number. Oh, it was Briscoe, our guy that we've been talking about, Michael Briscoe. Big gain down to the Bengal 40-yard line. Just got behind the defenders. So first down from the Bengal 40. Going quickly. This time the handoff goes to Kendrick Sanders, one of those bevy of running backs that we may see today. Sanders picks up 6 there. There's a replay of that Michael Briscoe catch.
Yeah, Rylan Leathers just gets beat over the top there. Diffenbach, we've seen, throws a really good ball. Just a big, tall, young quarterback that's going to develop into, if he stays in the Big Sky, I think he has the potential to be one of the best quarterbacks in the conference here in the next couple of years.
Ball to 34, single setback. That's going to be Sanders. He's going to take it. He's going to be hit, and the Bengals are going to stack him up. He's going to get a yard down to the 33, maybe. Not quite. Bengals gang up on the tackle there. Looked like Nate Reynolds. So they'll say no, well, half a yard, maybe the length of a football.
Yeah, this is an offense that doesn't run the ball particularly well. 10th in the conference in rushing offense, but where they can counteract that is with Diffenbach, like right here, read option, give him the option to take it, because even though he's 6'6", he can run the ball well.
Got the tight end, Alec Marshall, in there, and the Bengals are going to stack up Kendrick Sanders. He's going to get back to the line. Maybe he gets there. Maybe he gets a yard. But I'm telling you what, that Bengal defensive front led by Colin Lewis and Makatuakoi stopped that very well. They had Alec Marshall on the end of the line on the left, and he came to the center to block, and it made no difference.
Yeah, and they knew that they were going for it when they sent in that play call, that this was going to be 2 downs to get this 3 or 4 yards, and now they're looking at a longer 4th down than it was for 3rd down.
4th down and about 4. Linda makes the 30, and going to have a timeout taken by the Mustangs with 1 minute 32 seconds left here in the first quarter. I want to let you know that this game broadcast is brought to you in part by Bear Lake Trailer Sales, offering new and used utility, cargo, and horse trailers, as well as sheds and truck beds for nearly 30 years. Scott Gross, along with Cody Graves and our crew here in Pocatello, Idaho. The Idaho State Bengals coming in here off a huge program win at UC Davis last week. But the added pressure really is the fact that Idaho State's just 1-2 at home this year. They beat Lincoln University 90-0 to open, then lost the heartbreaker to Montana, and quite honestly, at homecoming 2 weeks ago, did not play very well in a loss to the Lumberjacks of Northern Arizona. But so far today, things are going the Bengals' way.
Yeah, and Idaho State has had games like this. Like, this is what it looked like in that first quarter against Montana. And this is what it looked like against Northern Colorado. But Idaho State's got to keep the foot on the gas and just beat teams and not have to worry about, being in a one-possession game coming down to the end.
Going to go for it on 4th down. The Mustangs back to throw. Diffenbach, and a diving catch made.
Ooh.
And that's the tight end, Alec Marshall. Pressure was coming, and Marshall was covered pretty well.
Yeah, they did everything they could. That's just a better throw by Diffenbach, facing pressure as well.
Decker Hagler was the guy who came in and put the pressure on Ty Diffenbach there. So here we go, first down from the 29-yard line, let's call it, of Idaho State. Kendrick Sanders is they fake the handoff. Now they're going deep to Briscoe, and just off his fingertips in the west end zone. Ty Diffenbach could not hook up with Michael Briscoe. Well, you can just see Briscoe at 6'2", 205, the redshirt senior. He just looks like a wide receiver, doesn't he?
Yeah, he looks like a wide receiver that's tough to guard as well. And right there, he just stacks his defender on a play action, and that's really a pretty decent throw by Diffenbach there, rolling out to his non-throwing side. You know, gives his receiver a chance there, just about 3 inches too far.
Here is Diffenbach. He's going to take it. They fake the jet sweep, and he tucked the ball in, took it himself, and just a yard in there on the running play for Diffenbach. And now we've got another Mustang down, and it looks like one of the big O linemen.
Yeah, it looks like an offensive lineman. If it was the one that I just saw there, he got rolled up on pretty good.
It looks like it
number 70.
might be, oh, it's 70. Yeah, it's number 70. That's Charlie Adams, the right tackle. Oh, well, we have a second. We could take a quick look at the Big Sky Conference scoreboard this afternoon to see how things are going. We got 2 finals from the Big Sky this afternoon. In Bozeman, Montana State, a big win over Weber State, the Idaho State Bengals' next opponent, 66-14. How about this? Montana, 29. Eastern Washington, 24. That's a final from Missoula. So wow. The Eagles of Eastern Washington went in there and gave the Grizzlies all they wanted this afternoon. Coming up, it's halftime in Portland. Sacramento State with a 21-14 lead over the Vikings of Portland State, looking for back-to-back wins. And Northern Arizona at home with 3:41 to go in the first quarter, lead Northern Colorado 14-0. A little bit later, the big game of the day, really, UC Davis at Idaho.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see how UC Davis responds, after that big loss at home and going up to U of I. And U of I coming off an exciting overtime win down there on ESPN2 in Flagstaff. And this University of Idaho team, it's a talented team that just hasn't gotten going this year. And that might have been the catalyst to get them going to make a playoff push.
3rd down and 9 for Cal Poly from the ISU 28-yard line. Idaho State has a 14-0 lead, 34 seconds left here in the first quarter. 3 receivers to the left. Now they bring 1 in motion. It's going to be an option toss out here to the near side, turning the corner and not getting the first down. Good defense by Idaho State, stretching that play out. Tyree Washington was the man on the carry, but the Bengals just stretch that out.
Yeah, that's Rylan Leathers just running the alley there, tracking the near hip is what you call it when you're chasing sideline in pursuit, and no one does it better in the conference than Rylan Leathers.
Well, it's going to be a 31-yard field goal try here for Noah Cerna. He is 2 of 2 from 30 to 39 yards this year. Actually, this will be a 41-yarder. He's 1 of 2 from 40 to 49. Ball spotted at the 31, so make it a 41-yarder. Kick on the way, and that kick, I think, is wide left. It is. It's missed wide left. And the Bengals defense holds, does not give up a point, and with 8 ticks of the clock left here in the opening quarter from the ICCU dome, the Idaho State defense will get the ball at their own 23-yard line. Well, this defense has done a pretty good job today, Cody. We talked, as I mentioned, I spoke with Bengals defensive coordinator Grant Duff after practice yesterday, and we said, look, we're trying to get from a not very good defense to a good defense to a really good defense. And he said the one big step was gutting one out and winning a tough game.
Yeah, and making huge stops in the red zone. And how about Cody Hawkins' quote this week where he talked about this defense, and he said that situational defense matters.
Right.
Total defense doesn't matter.
Right.
And Idaho State's total defense is one of the worst in the conference, but total defense doesn't matter. What matters is turnovers and red zone defense.
First play, it was Dason Brooks, a short gain. That brings us to the end of the first quarter. It's 14-0 Idaho State. Quarter number 2 coming up after this time out on KISU FM and ESPN+. Into the first quarter, it's Idaho State up 14-0. Here, I'm Scott Gross along with former Idaho State linebacker Cody Graves. And Cody, pretty good first quarter numbers for Idaho State, 153 yards, but 70 of those on the ground.
Yeah, and how about that just being on 2 possessions? So they've had 2 possessions, averaging around 75 yards on each of those possessions, and Idaho State just doing whatever they want offensively right now.
Here we come on second down and about, second down and 10. And pass complete over here to the near side to Zion Nunnally. That's going to be good for 9 yards, and Idaho State will face a 3rd down and 1 from their own 32-yard line. Going to go quick. Dason Brooks in the backfield, works on the left side of Jordan Cook. And he fumbled the snap. They fumbled, I shouldn't say the snap, they fumbled the handoff to Dason Brooks, and that's going to bring up 4th down, and that's going to be a stop on paper for that Cal Poly defense, but that really, Idaho State stopped themselves there on that 3rd down. So that's the first 3 and out of the afternoon. Dason Brooks, 53 yards already here in the first quarter, 19 yards rushing and a touchdown for Jordan Cook. Bengal fans will love to see that. He's not been a big running quarterback, but
has the ability to do
yes,
that.
He does. It'll be Gabe Russo to punt it away. Idaho State leads the nation in net punting, and this is a bomb back to about the 10-yard line, and I think the punt return, man, his knee went down at the 10-yard line. Wow. And that was Wheatley, Brooks Wheatley on the punt return, and a booming punt. So that went from the, got a timeout here. So 14-0 Idaho State. We're back after this timeout on KISU FM and ESPN+. 13:58 to go here in the second quarter. And Idaho State with a punt of 59 yards from Gabe Russo. He was averaging 46. The Bengals lead the nation, as I said, in net punting at 43.07. The return man had his knee down on the punt when he caught the punt at the 10-yard line. That was Brooks Wheatley, a quick pass. Let's take a look at this punt. And Brooks Wheatley, as he was going back to make the fair catch.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't tell if he was shielding something. It almost looked like a half fair catch signal.
It really did.
Because from up here at first, I thought it was just a fair catch signal. And when he started running, I was like, I thought he signaled a fair catch.
Gain of 5 on first down here for the Mustangs. So from their own 15, it'll be second down and 5. They're going to give the handoff, and it's actually Diffenbach keeping it. And the Bengals defense comes up and makes a play. It's Janari Boone. And he's going to stop Diffenbach barely across the line of scrimmage. It's, for all intents and purposes, it's going to be third down and 5. And of course, we've talked about this before. Janari Boone changed his number, wearing Case DeBruin's number 3. They unretired, if you will, Case DeBruin's number. He was the kicker on the national championship team in '81. And Janari Boone is wearing it proudly. So third down, and let's call it a long 4 here. Line to make is the 20-yard line of Cal Poly. And they've got movement, and I believe they're going to get tagged for their second false start of the afternoon. But let's wait and see. Again, our white hat this afternoon is Greg Wilson, assigned by the Big Sky Conference. And it is a false start. So that'll take the ball back to, let's call it the 11-yard line. And it will be third down now and
10.
About 9. Yep, 9. Third down and about 9. Yeah, Bridgeville line of scrimmage was the 10. So yeah, third down
long
and 9.
9.
Yeah, third and a long 9. So Idaho State holding a 14-0 lead. If they can make a stop here, they stand to get pretty good field position out of this. Diffenbach goes back, wants to throw, swing it over here to the near side. Catch is going to be made, and he's going to be stopped shy of the first down. The Bengals swarm to the receiver, and he's going to be shy at the 19-yard line. Trying to see who one of the first guys there was. It might have, I was wondering if it was Taylor Tuioti. Maybe he was one of the first guys there.
And Duarte back to receive for the Bengals.
Yeah, I
Looked like Janari Boone and Taylor Teote together.
Yep.
Great job not letting him pick up that first down.
So Jesse Ehrlich set to punt it away here on a 3rd and 1 for Cal Poly from their own 19. Ian Duarte stands back at his own 36-yard line awaiting this kick. Bengals with a 14-0 lead. It's a hanging punt. Looks returnable. Taken at the 40 by Duarte. Made the first couple of men miss and ends up with a 5-yard gain on the punt return. And Idaho State, best starting field position of the afternoon. They'll have the ball at their own 45-yard line. So that'll stop the clock. 11:37 to go here in the first half. Idaho State 14, Cal Poly 0. We'll be back after this time out on KISU FM and ESPN+. Bengals with the football, leading it 14-0 as we return to action. Project Filter reminding listeners that smoking and vaping both increase the severity of respiratory diseases. You can get more information at projectfilter.org. Bengals with the lead of 14-0. Going to bring a man in motion. That's Jonah Burton. Got the jet sweep set up for him. He turns the corner, and Jonah Burton is going to pick up big yardage, close to 7, make it 6 yards as he crosses the 50 to the 49 of Cal Poly. And a nice 6-yard pickup there. Mikey D'Amato made the final stop. But the Bengals have used that jet sweep a little more in the middle part of the season here, and I for one, it's kind of fun to watch. This time on 2nd and short, they wanted to get it to Shulikov, and that play was broken up on the far sideline over there.
Yeah, it just looked like a little bit of a miscommunication. Maybe it was an option route if Shulikov felt like he was even or stacked his defender that he would keep it moving. And looks like Jordan Cook maybe thought he did have it, and Shulikov just stops for a stop route. And Bengals have a 3rd down against a defense that has looked good at times this year and has came up with some big moments against some good teams.
3rd and 4, swing pass, near side, Sudbury. Carson Sudbury's first touch of the day, and that's going to result in a Mountain America Credit Union first down. First time they kind of snuck Carson Sudbury into the backfield, and the redshirt freshman out of South Jordan, Utah, hauls in his 7th reception of the year and gives Idaho State a Mountain America Credit Union first down at the 44 of Cal Poly. This time Cook looks out to his left, now rolls back to the right. He's firing, he's going deep, he's looking for his man out there, and just a little bit overthrown. Could not hook up with Damian Morgan. So 2nd down and 10. Cody Hawkins not afraid to take a shot on 1st down. And look, when you've got a kicker like Trajan Sinatra in this part of the field, the Bengals know if they get 7 or 8 yards, they still got a good chance to put points on the board. So you can take a shot on 1st down and try to go deep. This time we'll have double wides bunched to the left or near side of the field. Double wide, split out wide right. The outside man there is going to be Shulikov. And here's Carson Sudbury looking for the corner, and Sudbury will get shoved out of bounds on the far sideline. Looks like taking him out over there was Demel Turner, the safety, but picked up a little bit of yardage there. Call it 3rd down and about 6 here for Idaho State. Ball's going to be spotted at the 41-yard line of Cal Poly. 10:15 and the clock moving, a 14-0 Idaho State lead. Bengals looking for back-to-back wins for the first time this season, right? Yeah. Back to throw, Jordan Cook has time, swing it far side, and that looked to be Sudbury again.
Oh, and maybe a horse collar here at the end.
That was Carson Sudbury on the reception.
Yeah, it was a delayed, it looked like a little bit of underneath routes and then just a delayed wheel route where he sees that no one's guarding him and he's the check down, and he was wide open there to the boundary. Well,
it's in an area of the field where it's not going to be a hold or anything like that. You wouldn't think. As Greg Wilson makes his way to the numbers on the far side and said no penalty on the play. So the result of that is a first down for Idaho State and another Mountain America Credit Union first down. And here's a little replay of it, and it was just a great great route. And I think I saw wide.
That's the right no call. They saw his hand get up there like it was going to be a horse collar tackle. He didn't grab anything. That's a great no call.
Actually got it on the back of the helmet, it looked like. So first down Bengals. They are at the Mustangs' 31-yard line, moving right to left here in the second quarter. Here is a throwback. It's going to be Shulikov. He wants to throw it deep and just throws it away. Smart play there. That was read pretty well. That was that's the first time we've seen. Well, Shulikov did do the throwback to Jordan Cook at UNLV.
Yeah.
So the second time this year we've seen that. Are they going to call intentional grounding here? Can they do that on a throwback? They can.
How does that work?
I'm not sure.
With
he was
being out of the
pocket. They said there was no receiver there.
But that doesn't matter when you're out of the pocket. I'm confused.
Yeah,
maybe is that just an oversight on me? What am I not thinking of?
Well, Cody Hawkins is speaking with the head linesman over here on the near side. He doesn't seem too worked up about it. Now the white hat and the officials are going to talk it over. So it's the penalty from the spot. So that takes it back to the 39. It's going to be second down and about 18 here for Idaho State. That was interesting. I'd like to see the ruling on that one, just out of curiosity. I'm not saying it's wrong.
Yeah, there's obviously a rule.
Right. Dason Brooks in the backfield, 3 receivers to the left. Cook has time, goes over the middle. And, pass was incomplete. Maybe the ruling is just maybe the quarterback's the only guy that can throw it away. I don't know. What we do know
on a lot of trick plays, guys can throw it away.
I think it was because he threw it downfield and there was no receiver there, maybe, and there was some pressure. We'll let it go. It doesn't. It's not much else to debate here. So let's call it third down and 18. The Bengals from the 39 from here, it'd be about 57 yards for Trajan Sinatra. Once again, trips out to the left, single wide is Shulikov over on the short side of the field. As back to throw is Jordan Cook. Now he's flushed out. Jordan is just going to lob it down the field, and that's going to be incomplete. And this is one of those spots on the field, very interesting to see what Cody Hawkins wants to do here.
Yeah,
I think we just got to pooch punt it, don't you?
Yeah, with the distance, like if it was within 10 yards, I think with this you go for it. But
I think if they would have picked up 6 or 7 yards there, maybe sent Sinatra out for a long try. But it's going to be Gabe Russo, and Gabe Russo, 59 yards on his last punt. The Bengals don't want that here. They want about 38. As the line of scrimmage is the 39-yard line of Cal Poly. I do know there is a fake punt play in the book. Not going to be here. And the pooch punt, that looks pretty good if the Bengals get down there and field it. Oh my goodness, the special teams have done it again. The Bengals have done it again. Trying to see who caught that. Was it Juice Mason? It might have been Juice Mason. And we've got a timeout. We'll tell you about it after this. It's 14-0. Bengals were back after this timeout on KISU FM and ESPN+. We're coming up on the 5:29 mark left in this second quarter, which reminds us that Ideal is Idaho's 529 college savings plan and an ideal way to save for college. Getting started is easy. $25 in 15 minutes is all you need, and you get tax benefits for saving. Why wait? Learn more at idsaves.org. So it's going to be a 35-yard punt that pins Cal Poly back at their own 3-yard line, and they come out running the ball on first down. That looked to be Kendrick Sanders. And he's going to pick up 7 yards out to the 10. It'll be second down and 3. So second down, about 3 to go here. Idaho State up 14-0. They have outgained Cal Poly 187 to 113. And on the last possession, the Mustangs missed a 41-yard field goal that would give them their first points of the day. This time Diffenbach hands it off, and Sanders is going to be close to the first down. He's going to get it as he powers his way out to the 15-yard line. Jacob Perez on the field for Idaho State. First time we've seen, or kind of called Jacob's number. Here comes Nate Reynolds, the defending Big Sky Conference Defensive Player of the Week, out onto the field here for this 1st and 10. Mustangs have it at their own 15-yard line. Mike Briscoe is out here. Michael Briscoe split out wide here to the near side of the field, right under us. Diffenbach goes back, looking for him, and can't connect with him. Pass maybe just a touch behind Briscoe. And off his hands, it's incomplete.
And just looking for a soft spot in the zone, right there on the back end, that Idaho State zone. And Diffenbach just unable to connect with Briscoe. And for Cal Poly here, we ran the ball effectively, going away from it on that 1st down. I really like what they've done offensively, just not able to finish drives yet this game.
2 receivers bunched to the left side. That's where Kendrick Sanders, the running back, sets up in the backfield on the left side. Diffenbach, he points downfield now. He's going to take off and run. And Ty Diffenbach at 6'6", 220. He is a target, and we've got a Bengal down. Trying to make that tackle.
Jackson Daniels.
And all you hope for Jackson is he doesn't reach for the knee. Jackson Daniels recovered from a knee injury, and this looks more like an ankle.
It looks more like he got hit on the head by
I see.
Yeah, player running by there.
Yeah. And you don't want to see any injury, but Jackson had worked so hard to come back from that lower leg injury during the fall. And it looks like he's okay. Head trainer Dustin Inslinger out there. And the sophomore out of San Diego, California. Jackson Daniels jogs off under his own power, so Bengal fans will hope to see him a little bit later. He was a standout at Helix High School down there in San Diego, and the Bengals were high on him. I mean, he played as a freshman last year, much like we're seeing Trey Shorty at that nickelback spot for Idaho State this season.
Yeah, Jackson Daniels was a guy that maybe didn't get picked up by some FBS programs because he was pretty slight at the time coming in.
Well, he still is.
Yeah. At the time, he couldn't have been over 150 pounds soaking wet. He's a lanky corner, but
he's one of the few guys on the football team that I can go, hey, we're the same, 6'1" or 6'2" and about $1.50. Now he's 162.
And he looks big compared to when he first came in, but the talent, you could see the talent immediately when he stepped in fall camp that year.
So the ball's going to be spotted at the 30-yard line. Cal Poly, that run by Ty Diffenbach gave them a 1st down. Again, it looks like that's Kendrick Sanders, the running back. Moves from right to left in the backfield, takes the handoff. Now he'll come to this near side, finds a little bit of a seam. It's going to be tripped up and brought down. Take a look at the replay here.
Yeah, just right here, Tuioti just unable to get over into that gap on the edge and secure it before he crossed the line of scrimmage.
Here's Sanders, another run. This one slices up the middle of the field right on the near side hash mark, and Tuioti in on another tackle for Idaho State. So they'll move the chains out to the 43-yard line, spot it there, 1st down, Cal Poly. They trail it 14-0 here. ISU with the lead with 7:05 to go in the 1st half. Michael Briscoe, I should say, with the reception, steps out of bounds right on the Bengal sideline at the 49-yard line. So picked up 6 yards there. This little quicker tempo offense is working now for Cal Poly as Diffenbach goes back to throw again. Slant over the middle and nothing there. 2nd down and 10 coming up. Trying to pick up the receiver they were trying to hit there. So it's going to be 3rd down here. 3rd down and about 4 to go. Line to make is the Bengal 47.
And you look at this as you have 2 downs to make the line of scrimmage. Playbook fully open. Run game, I'd like to see Cal Poly do something here with giving Diffenbach the option to run if he sees something that he likes, whether that's getting out of the pocket or just a read option.
Looked like he might have changed the play at the line of scrimmage there too as Diffenbach goes back to throw. Wings it out far side, and that's incomplete. Good coverage by Idaho State over there on that far side.
That play is broken up by number 30.
Yeah, that was Mike Lindsay.
Yeah, you see a younger corner out there that hasn't doesn't get as much time as some of the other starting corners. I like changing the play call to there, but then now you pigeonhole yourself into punting, where if you ran the ball and get a couple yards, then you're looking at, because right then your only option is to do the same thing you just did and find something through the air. But
well, Mike Lindsay comes up with his 4th pass breakup of the season, and that's going to send Ian Duarte back inside his 10-yard line as the Mustangs will punt it away here, down 14-0. High, driving, hanging punt, and getting out of the way of it. And this is going to take an ISU bounce. It'll be down at about the 8-yard line. And that's where they will spot the ball. So Idaho State will take over possession here inside their own 10-yard line, but up 14-0.
I'd like to see Idaho State have a little bit of killer instinct here and put their foot on this Cal Poly defense's throat and put a team away. Not that you would put them away at this time, but have that sense of urgency to want to put them away.
Well, in their last drive, they stopped themselves with that fumbled hand.
And then before, 2 drives ago, and then just getting kind of lackadaisical on the offense and not paying attention to details, really.
Here's Cook setting up the screen on the far side, and that's going to be a big gainer. Pass is going to be complete over there to Mike Shulikoff. Shulikoff already with a touchdown reception here this afternoon. Picks up 10 yards and another Mountain America Credit Union first down and another $50 to Operation Warm in East Idaho, courtesy of Mountain America Credit Union. So the Bengals get out of the shadow of their goal post. Ball spotted at the 18-yard line on the far hash mark. Bengals white jerseys and pants, I should say white helmets and pants. The black jerseys moving right to left, and flushed out of the pocket is Jordan Cook, and he's just going to have to send it harmlessly into the Mustangs bench on the far side here of the ICCU Dome. Good crowd on hand here today. Don't think we have an attendance number as of yet. Homecoming game pushed 9,900. It was 9,861. Capacity here at the ICCU Dome, right around 10,000. So pretty close to a sellout for homecoming. Got a big one next week with the Weber State Wildcats coming in here to the ICCU Dome. Big rival. Here's a flare pass out here to the near side. Nice catch by Zion Nunnally. And that'll be a nice chunk play of 7 yards out to the 25-yard line. Bengals will have a 3rd down and 3. Big 3rd down offensively here, no doubt. Bengals want to keep this possession going. Cal Poly has never really threatened, but you want to limit their touches if you're Idaho State. So on 3rd and 3, Cook wants to throw, and he's got his man, and that looks to be Damian Morgan on the far side, and it is at the 40-yard line. Let's take another look at this one, because Damian Morgan has been busy today.
Yeah, this is just a corner route out of the slot. Counting on that safety to be fast enough to break on the ball. Jordan Cook says, I don't think he's fast enough to break on the ball with Damian Morgan out of his break, and he was right.
So Mountain America Credit Union at the 40-yard line. Damian Morgan, 3 catches, 32 yards on the afternoon now. Cook on 1st down. Looking deep, looking for Nunnally, and overthrew him down here at about the 30-yard line or so of Cal Poly. So that'll stop the clock with 4 minutes, 59 seconds to go here in the first half of play.
And even though some of these that aren't getting completed, that he's throwing deep to Nunnally and to Shulikoff, and they look like negative plays because they, it sets you at 2nd and 10, but it does something to a defense mentally, knowing that, hey, anytime you're going to do this, we're going to take our shots. So then you play off coverage more, and it opens things up underneath. There is strategy in just taking your shots downfield.
Double wides to either side, and there is a quick pass. And is it intercepted? Cal Poly acts like it was intercepted. If it is it's going to be Damian Morgan with another catch. Simultaneous possession, maybe. But either way, another good, solid play to Damian Morgan. And you can see right there, Damian had control, and then the defender down there, Jake East, not the Bengal Jake East. And here's a pass, there's big pressure coming up the middle. Was that?
Cook's pass is incomplete.
Trying to see who that was. Was that Kenny Olson, 20? He was hurt earlier. Is that 20 or 20?
Yeah, that's Kenny Olson.
Yeah.
They bring their linebackers on a ton of blitzes. You've seen it all game from both sides.
Jorgen Miller, offensive lineman for Idaho State, the right tackle, is down back at about the 39-yard line. And again, Dustin Inslinger, head Bengal trainer, there to check him out. Jorgen out of Hiram, Utah, just a redshirt sophomore. He's been one of those guys who has battled some injuries during his career.
Started as a true freshman.
Yes.
Then went down with a knee, and really haven't seen him all that much until he filled in for, just some spots at guard and tackle, just being the next man up, and that's good to see him on his feet.
Yeah, and no noticeable limp or anything like that. So Jorgen Miller back up on his feet. That should bring Messiah Johnson in for this snap of the football. A very capable reserve man. I mean, this offensive line room is deep for Idaho State, and John Hughes, the offensive line coach, has done an outstanding job here the last 2 years of not only coaching, but building depth and building confidence. And so on fourth down here, the Bengals are going to have to punt it away with Gabe Russo. And that should be Brooks Wheatley back deep. Now, last time he caught a punt, put his knee down at the 10-yard line. Fourth down and about 2 here. Bengals look to get the punt away, and they do. Another good punt. And it's going to take a bounce, and it's skidded. If it takes a good straight up bounce, I assume maybe.
It did take a straight up bounce just right into the face mask.
Oh, yeah. I see what you're
just
saying.
right into his face mask. Was that ball?
I'm trying to see. Was that? Yeah, I think it was Josh. I think so.
Oh.
Well,
yeah,
that's just a tough break
break.
for Idaho State. But you know what? That's the way the ball bounces. No pun intended. And it'll be Cal Poly coming out to take possession here. Trailing 14-0. 4 minutes, 18 seconds left here in the first half of play. Bengals continue to rack up yards. 227 yards of offense for Idaho State, 164 for Cal Poly. Ty Diffenbach fakes the handoff, going to keep it himself, and Diffenbach's down the far sideline, and it's going to be a big gainer for that sophomore quarterback out of Calabasas, California. 26-yard gain to the Cal Poly 46-yard line. First time we've really seen a breakdown on that today.
Yeah, and this is where Idaho State's defense has struggled this year, is running quarterbacks, and thought that would be in the game plan for Cal Poly with Diffenbach being really good on his feet, and you've seen it a few times, him taking off, and see how good he is on his feet for a 6'6" guy.
So this time he's going to give it off to, I think they brought Tyree Washington back in there. Let's see. Yeah, it is Tyree Washington with the carry. Junior out of Stockton, California. He hasn't touched the ball a ton today. That's just his third carry of the afternoon. He's going to pick up 3 yards on it there. Ty Diffenbach, he has had a career. That's his season numbers, 1,000 yards passing, 5 interceptions, 7 passing TDs. Numbers kind of similar to Jordan Cook. He's 12 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. So second down and 7 here. Bengals look like they're bringing some pressure, and a diving catch going to be made out here on the near side. That's Brooks Wheatley. So he'll haul that in. They needed 7, got 5. Let's call it third down and 2.
In a very similar spot to where they were last drive with, they're a yard closer with it being about 2 yards compared to 3. But right now, I think you keep it in Diffenbach's hands and you give him the option to run it, and you don't try to throw some of these outs that these DBs can break on.
Third down and 2 to go here for Cal Poly, and Diffenbach keeps it now. He's loose again on the far sideline, scampers out of bounds at the 37-yard line. So that will move the football. First and 10 coming up here for Cal Poly from the Bengal 37-yard line. 2 minutes, 22 seconds to go here. No timeouts. Well, there was one timeout taken here in the half. Idaho State has all 3 of theirs. We've got the 2-minute timeout coming up. Let's see if they get it off before this snap. 3, 2, 1. and they will just get that off. This time it's going to be Tyree Washington. And on 1st and 10 from the Bengal 37, he'll pick up a yard down to the 36, and that will take us to the 2-minute timeout. 14-0, Idaho State with a lead over the Mustangs of Cal Poly. We're back with more after this timeout on KISU FM and ESPN+. Coming up at the half, we'll have stats and highlights brought to you by Northern Quest Resort and Casino. We hope you'll stick around and join us for that. Been an entertaining first half of play here. 1:55 to go. Scott Gross along with Cody Graves. And ESPN crew here in Pocatello at the ICCU Dome. 2nd down and 9 here for the Mustangs of Cal Poly, who have not yet found a way to get into the end zone. But Ty Diffenbach on this series has picked up 2 big rushing plays.
2nd down to 9.
Brings a man in motion over here to the near side. It's going to be a little play action. And now in trouble is Diffenbach. He's going to run, and he's got a seam to the 20 and goes out of bounds on the far sideline. It looked like Diffenbach might have been close to being sacked back there, but he was able to break away. And let's take a look. We get a chance to check this replay.
Yeah, just a play action rollout. He comes back to the other side, finds some space, and Idaho State, there's not a lot of team speed on the back end right now. For Diffenbach, when he gets out and runs, looks like he's the fastest guy on the field.
Well, this is big here because Cal Poly won the toss and deferred, so they've got a chance for a twofer here. I mean, if they were to score quickly, then Idaho State would have a good chance with all 3 timeouts left. So 1st down for the Mustangs from the Bengals 17-yard line. Diffenbach, pass knocked down. It came right back to Diffenbach. He's going to complete the pass to himself. We've got to see who got a big paw up on that for Idaho State. A defender blocked it. Now we've got another Cal Poly offensive lineman down. Let's take a look and see if we can see who knocked that pass down.
Colin Lewis.
It was Colin Lewis. Yeah, indeed it was.
That pass is complete.
Rylan Leathers chased Diffenbach out of bounds and got a man down for Cal Poly. One of their big offensive linemen. Several players go down today. Looks like it might be Matthew Mina, left tackle, in on that play.
You know, for some of these teams that travel up to Pocatello, there's a good portion of the Big Sky that some of these teams come from sea level, and you come up here and it's kind of muggy in the dome. You add the elevation into it, and you start cramping, and you hadn't worried about cramping since the 3rd game of the year, and guys start cramping and getting a little more fatigued. I don't think this is a cramping situation, obviously, but you get more fatigued, and some teams just aren't ready for what Holt Arena is, because you don't think about it being like too hot in here, but it does take it out of you.
It does. And the elevation. I mean, what's San Luis Obispo, 100 feet above sea level maybe?
I mean, I feel it when I drive from Boise and then I walk up the stairs to get in the box.
Yeah.
I have to take like 2 minutes of sitting down before I catch my breath.
So 2nd down and 10 here for Cal Poly. They're at the ISU 17-yard line, moving left to right here in the final 1:39 of the 2nd quarter. Bring a man in motion, and now Diffenbach is going to run again, and Ty Diffenbach, he is popped by Rylan Leathers. He got in for the touchdown, but Rylan Leathers smacked him right in the mouth. Ty Diffenbach is going to get the first touchdown of the afternoon for the Mustangs, and they have found something offensively running Ty Diffenbach.
Yeah, what you found is when you get out there that Idaho State really has no plan in the scramble drill to pull him up right now.
Here's Diffenbach, and he's going to roll to his right, and that was never going to be a pass. And here is Rylan Leathers, and I mean he did square him up.
He's not defenseless.
Nope, he's not defenseless. He was a running back. So the PATs here, 28 of 28. There's 2 different kickers that they will use. This was Gianluca DiMauro and he knocks through the extra point. That scoring drive for Cal Poly took 8 plays in 2 minutes and 47 seconds, covered 80 yards on the drive. So, but, as we just mentioned, if Cal Poly scores quickly, which they did, Idaho State now has 91 seconds and 3 timeouts left. For a coach like Cody Hawkins, that's an eternity.
Yeah, and they're great in these situations, these 2-minute situations. And yeah, you just see right here, I mean, they're playing on scramble drill. Looks like it's Colin Lewis from the backside. Your D tackle is the only one that's pulling him up for a chance, you know, before he gets to the end zone, before he meets Ryland Leathers right there at the goal line.
Ryland Leathers put a good hit on him, and you can tell what he was trying to do. He was trying to dislodge the football.
Yeah.
He was trying to knock that ball free, and it's a good play.
Yeah, 6'6" quarterback gets out and run the ball, make him feel it every time he does.
Yep, and that's what ISU's Ryland Leathers said right there. So, obviously, the Bengals defense is going to have to kind of do some evaluation in the locker room at halftime to try to control Ty Diffenbach and his running. 7 carries for 87 yards, and most of them on that series, I would say at least 5.
Yeah, the whole offense.
Yeah,
really,
it was
series.
the offense. There is a fair catch on the kick into the end zone. So with 91 seconds left, it will be this Bengal offense who scored on their first 2 possessions, but they have not, they really haven't done a whole lot since then.
No, like outside of the first 5 minutes, I mean, right now, Cal Poly's making the adjustments on both sides of the ball. They're playing better football right now. And we talked about Idaho State has had drives since then and just unable to figure out right now what Cal Poly's throwing at them. And if it's a hard count you got to do to see where they're bringing a blitz from and then get into something else for Jordan Cook right now, because we talked about it. You have to have a killer instinct, because right now, because of you not putting any points on the board the last few drives, put in a situation where they have a shot.
1st and 10 from their own 25, Idaho State. They'll go with their running back, Jason Brooks, and he's going to pick up a nifty 5 yards out to the 30-yard line. Clock ticking. Again, Idaho State, all 3 timeouts. Ball near hash, 30-yard line, 2nd down and 5. Once again, out of the shotgun is going to be Jordan Cook. He's got time. He's launching, far sideline, and it's going to be Mike Shulikov, the guy when you need a play. Did they say he was inbounds or out? And they're going to say inbounds at the Mustang 40. Bengals are going to try to get to the line in a hurry here. A couple of the Cal Poly coaches thought that maybe Shulikov was out of bounds. Let's see if we can get a replay before they snap it. And Shulikov, he's got a foot down. Yeah, that's a good catch. Big play, and another Mountain America Credit Union 1st down. 1st and 10 Bengals from the Cal Poly 40-yard line. Once again, back to throw. Looking, letting go. Near side, Jonah Burton, and he'll get out of bounds. Coverage on the play downfield there by Jeremiah Bernard. And Jonah Burton has been busy today. That's his 3rd reception of the afternoon. And just a well-designed play for Idaho State, and they have gotten down the field in a hurry. They've covered 50 yards in, 3 plays? Going to send Jonah Burton in motion from left to right to the far side of the field. Pressure coming. Going to dump it. This is Zion Nunnally, and the big man has the catch. And inside the 20 down to the 18, it'll be a gain of 7. And no flags down that we can see. And I believe Cody Hawkins, there's a replay of this for Zion Nunnally. Zion, not a busy day this afternoon. Just his 3rd catch, but he's got 29 yards. That's the first time out of the half taken by Cody Hawkins and the Idaho State Bengals. But one thing they know, they're in that very comfortable place on the football field, Cody. I mean, 43 seconds left. They are up 14-7. A chance to answer back the touchdown, but at the very least, they would feel confident about a field goal.
Yeah, and just not letting Cal Poly double up in this middle 6 minutes or middle 4 minutes, whatever you call it, the last 2 minutes of the first half and the first 2 minutes of the second half. But if you're Idaho State right now, you have everything.
That'll work.
and it's going to get tougher now that you're in the red zone with field condensed a little more. So Cal Poly can tighten up their coverage. They're not going to give up some of that soft zone that you saw right there on Jonah Burton's out route, or that underneath by Zion Nunnally. Idaho State's going to have to work for it, but we've seen when they've gotten down in the red zone, they've scored, and with 2 timeouts, when you can get down there, you can still run the ball with Mason Brooks if you need.
Absolutely. Yep, you're exactly right. So it's going to be 2nd down and 3 here from the 18-yard line of Cal Poly. Idaho State tried to answer back a late touchdown scored by Cal Poly on their last possession. And here's Dason Brooks, and you talk about Brooks running, and he gets over there, stays on his feet, finally going to be knocked out of bounds down around the 9-yard line. But that's going to be enough for a Mountain America Credit Union first down. It took 7 seconds off the clock. And so that will be Dason Brooks with another Mountain America Credit Union first down for Idaho State. As you mentioned, 2 timeouts, and
that might have been his first carry in the second quarter.
No, he had one just a little bit earlier on the first play. Here's an inside pass, and that was completed to Juice Mason. Julian with his first catch of the afternoon. Bengals go quick here, down to 20 seconds. 18. Cook taking some time here, maybe too long. Bengals are going to have to go down to 12. They're going to give it to Brooks. Dason Brooks stays on his feet. Touchdown, Idaho State. Dason Brooks and the Bengals drive 75 yards in a minute 23 and used 1 timeout. And they get into the touchdown, or into the end zone for an ICCU touchdown. That's another $200 to student athletes at Idaho State, courtesy of ICCU. And now, Trajan Sinatra. 32 of 33 coming into the day. How about you make him 35 of 36 as he knocks that extra point through? No bigger possession for Idaho State in a half than that one, with the way that Cal Poly would get the ball to start the second quarter. ISU needed points on that drive.
Yeah, they knew they needed it, and some of the other drives where it doesn't feel like they need it, just have a little more killer instinct where you could be up 21-0 and make Cal Poly press a little bit.
Sure, but that will also make Cal Poly question some things.
Yeah.
As we said, 7 plays, 75 yards, took 1 minute and 23 seconds off the clock. And Idaho State extends back to a 2-touchdown margin here with just 8 seconds left on the clock. Once again, coming up at the half, we will, on our halftime show, I should say, we'll have our recap and scoring drive recap and all the stats, and talk a little bit about this matchup this afternoon. And boy, when Idaho State goes into the locker room, there's going to be a lot of talk about that last drive. And the kickoff by Gabe Russo will go into the end zone for a touchback. Not sure why we haven't seen Mason Lindbergh today. I was only at practice a limited time this week, and did not hear anything about Mason not kicking off, but I see him down on the sideline in street clothes, so he's apparently got some sort of an injury, so it'll be Gabe Russo, who's very capable. And quite honestly, Trajan Sinatra could probably kick it off as well. One thing the Bengals have is some depth on that special team side with their kickers. So Ty Diffenbach here looks like they're just going to take the knee, run the 7 or 8 seconds off the clock, and that will take us to the half. Halftime in Pocatello, the homestanding Bengals of Idaho State University 21, and the Cal Poly Mustangs 7. As the teams exit the field here, we'll take a look at this Ty Diffenbach touchdown one more time. He's going to really think about that one the next time he goes down there to that goal line. And that is going to take us to halftime. It's Idaho State 21, Cal Poly 7. We're back with more after this time out on KISU FM and ESPN+.
And now, please welcome to the field.
Welcome back to the ICCU Dome. Halftime as Idaho State, with a late score, has taken a 21-7 lead into the locker room here against the visiting Mustangs of Cal Poly out of San Luis Obispo, California. And, it was a big score for Idaho State at the end. Cal Poly scored with 91 seconds left. ISU went down and scored in about 1:23. Statistically, in this game this afternoon, Bengals just with a slight edge. Total yards 302 to 242. You can see there. Rushing yards, Cal Poly with 140 yards rushing, and a lot of that damage being done by the quarterback, Ty Diffenbach. 7 carries for 87 yards and a touchdown. For the Bengals, their rushing numbers, Dason Brooks, 72 yards on 11 carries. 12 first downs for Cal Poly, 18 for the Bengals, and you can see 21-7 your score. Let's take a look at some of the highlights for that first half of play. As we've got the Hall of Fame ceremony going on down on the field, but here's the first touchdown of the day, a pass to Mike Shulikoff, and Cody Graves just a fantastic throw and catch again by Cook and Shulikoff. And then it was Jordan Cook, a rushing touchdown, the first of the year for the redshirt sophomore, or redshirt junior. That was a big play for Idaho State, obviously. And here is Ty Diffenbach. And we're going to take a couple of looks at this because, he took it upon himself to run, but he also took it upon himself to get a big hit from Ryland Leathers as he got to the goal line. And Ryland Leathers, little attitude there, kind of looked him up.
Well, and earlier that drive when he had ran Diffenbach out of bounds on each time, they were jawing at each other a little bit. Right. So that was kind of, a good finale on the drive where both competitors, he gets in the end zone, he gives him a lick.
We're going to take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. You can see the standings for the Big Sky with 9:30 to go in the game in Portland at Sacramento State with a 38-21 lead. It is Northern Arizona at home at the end of 3, leading Northern Colorado 28-10. UC Davis 14-7 over Idaho started the second quarter. 2 finals from this afternoon. Montana State big over Weber State and Bozeman 66-14. And it was Montana slipping by Eastern Washington in Missoula 29-24. That's probably the most surprising score of the day.
Yeah, with how Eastern Washington's been playing, Montana just keeps winning. They're figuring out a way to win, and it seems like it's going to go. The Big Sky Championship is going to be that Brawl of the Wild matchup.
Well, we're gonna take a little break here. Once again, we are at halftime in Pocatello. It is the Idaho State Bengals 21 and Cal Poly 7. We're back with more after this time out on KISU-FM and ESPN+. We have the past of Idaho State University joining us today. It's Hall of Fame weekend, and one of the great figures from Idaho State football, offensive lineman of the 1981 National Championship team, drafted by the Dallas Cowboys, and into the ICCU Hall of Fame today, Dan Taylor. Dan, great to have you stop by for a couple of minutes.
Oh, it's awesome to be here. It's a great game. Love watching the team play. Hey, fans, let's make some noise! Let's show they're in our house!
Well, the Idaho State Bengals here, and, they had a solid first half of play, 21-7 with the lead here, and they're going to kick it away as Cal Poly and Ty Diffenbach will try to make something happen here. But the kick into the end zone, and still, and this is one thing that we've talked about, Dan. Yes, it's been a while since the Bengals, won that national championship, but yet there's a lot of support from that 81 team and all of the guys, the football alumni team, supporting this program, isn't there?
Oh, we all support it. We love ISU. I want another national championship.
Well, I think there's a lot of folks around the Pocatello area that would agree with you, as it will be Ty Diffenbach coming out to start this second half. First down for Cal Poly from their own 25-yard line after the touchback. He'll go back, pass far side. It's going to be caught, and that looks like it's going to be Michael. Nope, it's not. We'll double check on the receiver there. That was Zero Logan Boer. Dan, what's been the best part of your weekend as far as the whole Hall of Fame thing goes? Hold on 1 second. Let's get this played. Brooks Wheatley splits out wide to the right or left on the far side. Tight end Alec Marshall. Here's the handoff, and Tyree Washington
That was a good stick.
Washington, the ball carrier, picks up 1
This
yard.
Bengal defensive front has done a pretty good job. Ty Diffenbach gave him some problems. Anyway, quickly, best part of the weekend.
Being up here with the voice of the Bengals.
Okay.
Second down and 9.
I'll give you that $5 later for saying that. But, a gain of 1 on that first down play. They'll spot the ball at the 36-yard line here.
Come on.
First minute of the third quarter. And it is Cal Poly facing a second down and 9, moving left to right here. And the receiver in motion.
Get him!
Diffenbach
Tap
is
in!
there, and Ty Diffenbach breaks free, and he's going to get loose on the far sideline, chased out over there by Nate Reynolds. And boy, it did look like that Ty Diffenbach was going to get sacked back there, but boy, just escapability. He's going to pick up 4 yards and get it out to the 40-yard line. So it'll be third down and 5 here. Jacob Perez checks in for the Bengals in that linebacking core. Trey Shorty, the nickelback, checks out. So a big third down opportunity here for this Bengal defense as Cal Poly trailing at 21-7. They want to find a way to move the chains. Again, Alec Marshall, the tight end, goes over the right end of the line. Here's a pass flared out near side. It's intercepted. It's picked off by Mike Lindsay. Mike Lindsay has intercepted Ty Diffenbach, and Idaho State will have the ball. And boy, the offense finished with a big drive to finish that first half. And damn, boy, you just can't talk enough about what defense does. And we're going to get a quick look at the replay here. But that pass just hung up on him, and Mike Lindsay up to make the interception.
That's how you play defense.
That was a great play right in front of Michael Briscoe, and Mike Lindsay's uncle, Reggie Miller, is going to be awfully happy with his nephew here. So Idaho State back in possession of the football right at the 50-yard line. First and 10. Big change. Yeah. So we'll see here as Jordan Cook has Dason Brooks off to his right. Ball's on the near hash. 3 receivers out to the right side. Here is Dason Brooks, looks inside and kind of backs into the pile there, and it's going to be a tough 2 yards for Dason Brooks.
Picks up 2 yards on the play.
As Idaho State trying to really make a statement to start this half. We talked about how big it is, Cody, to get a lead and make these guys play from behind it. A 3-touchdown deficit in the second half makes it tough.
Yeah, and especially when you got Dason Brooks back there, and how effectively you ran the ball and went away from it for a little bit, but you were able to go back to it and do it effectively.
From the 48, second down, and they've got Jonah Burton. Burton on the near sideline, and again, that Baylor transfer has paid dividends as he picks up a big chunk of yardage. He'll take it down to the 28-yard line. Let's call it a gain of 20, and a Mountain America Credit Union first down. And let's take a look at the replay, as Jordan Cook has been throwing the ball extremely well today. Mountain America Credit Union helping guide members through life's financial journey and donating $50 to Operation Warm in East Idaho for every Bengal first down. They really are. This is a great receiving core, and they have made Jordan Cook look very good all season long. Here's Cook, a little slant over the middle. He had 2 receivers in the same area there. He had Zion Nunnally and Jonah Burton both running a little crossing pattern. I'm not sure maybe if one of those guys might have had a little misread on the route.
Yeah, 2 guys running the same route, just kind of clustered there. But Idaho State finding success working primarily against the safeties at Cal Poly. These safeties are having trouble guarding the slots for ISU.
Second down from the 28-yard line of Cal Poly. Second down and 10 to be exact. Jordan Cook near side. This is Damian Morgan at the 20, right on the number, and he will be drugged down at about the 19-yard line. We'll call it a gain of 9, and the Bengals will face a very comfortable third down and 1.
Dan, as a former offensive lineman, what do you see from Idaho State this year with them having so much success up front? What are they doing that's causing them to be successful?
I see great fundamentals. They're firing off the ball, and they want to hit someone.
Yeah.
John Hughes, their offensive line coach, has done an outstanding job coming up from Utah Tech. Montana tried to swipe him away from us. And here's Jordan Cook on 3rd down and a yard. And for the 3rd time today, we see Jordan Cook square his shoulder pads, put his head down, and run. And that's another Mountain America Credit Union 1st down. Let's take a look at this replay. And we have not seen
he had a
lot
great
of that.
hole to go into.
Yep. We have not seen a lot of that sort of strong running from Jordan Cook, but boy, he is starting to come on here the last week or two. Mike Shulikoff split out wide to the right side. You got Nunnally and Duarte over here to the near side. Dame Morgan, the slot man, on the right. It's going to be Cook to throw. Over the middle, the slant pattern. Down inside the 10 to the 8. He finds Zion Nunnally. Idaho State moving the ball.
And I say keep doing the same thing until they stop it.
Yeah. Hey, and imagine being a defensive coordinator watching film and seeing what you have on the outside between 6'6" Mike Shulikoff and a fast 6'3" and Zion Nunnally, and knowing that, in the Big Sky you don't have corners that match up with that on the outside.
Brooks in the backfield, works on the left hip. Brooks is going to take it, goes wide right, trying to get the corner with a stiff arm. He's going to stay on his feet. He's going to end up picking up about a yard out of that, maybe 2, and close to 1st down yardage. Dason Brooks, such a powerful runner. I mean, you watch this guy. If you see this guy at practice with just a T-shirt and the shorts on, he is solid as a rock, head to toe. So it's going to be 3rd down here, 2 to go. Ball on the 8-yard line of Cal Poly. Once again, Brooks in the backfield. And it's going to be Jordan
There it is.
Cook.
He got it.
Jordan Cook's going to get the 1st down, takes it down to the 5-yard line, a gain of 3 yards, and another Mountain America Credit Union 1st down. And right now, the Idaho State Bengals really trying to take advantage of that Mike Lindsay interception and make this a difficult 2nd half for the Mustangs.
Well, when I was in the offense and the defense got an interception, it's present. We had to score.
That's the way. Yeah, I understand. I heard you mention that to the team yesterday for practice when you were at practice. So see if they can convert here. It's Dason Brooks. He breaks tackles. Brooks jumps over a man, dives to the goal line, stopped just shy.
I think they say he stepped out.
Yeah, stepped out at about the 2-yard line. He made that hurdle move.
Well, that was gutsy running. He did it on his own on the outside.
Well, he's got the guts. He started out here at Idaho State as a linebacker and moved to the backfield last year, played some running back in high school and convinced Jeff Pittman, the strength coach, and Cody Hawkins that he could be a running back, and boy, it has paid some dividends. 2nd down and goal here for Idaho State from the 2 of Cal Poly. It's going to be Jordan Cook again as he faked the handoff this time. He's going to get it just shy of the goal line. And I don't know if ISU has the push, but we'll see what they come up with here. We've got to see if we had a down-the-line shot to see how close he was.
They won't even go under center to take a knee.
Yeah, Jordan Cook stopped just at about the half-yard line. Length of the football, maybe a little more here, as Idaho State looking to punch it in for their 4th trip into the end zone here this afternoon.
Give it to 28 2 times right now.
3rd down and goal. Cook, I should say, with Brooks off to his left. Brooks is going to be the lead blocker, and Jordan Cook, that time Cal Poly stepped up and made the stop on him.
You got a running back that's averaging over 7 yards a carry. I understand maybe the first one handed off to Cook, but right there, Dason Brooks isn't losing a yard there, and I think you're going for it even if he doesn't get in on that one. I don't love the play call by ISU though.
Well, the next play call is Trajan Sinatra. And Trajan on his field goals, 12 of 15. Perfect. 20 to 29. This is going to be much shorter than that, 19 yards. That is up, and that is good. And so the Idaho State Bengals put together a scoring drive after the Mike Lindsay interception. Dan Taylor, we've appreciated you coming up. We've got to go to break. 24-7. Bengals on top. We're back after this time out on KISU FM and ESPN+. We're back here at the ICCU Dome on ESPN Plus. Trajan Sinatra, 50-yard game-winning field goal last week with 52 seconds left. He has been quite the find this year for this Bengals special teams.
Yeah, and no shortage of kicker. I mean, last year, you're really good in the kicking game. This year, you might even be better in the kicking game. Trajan Sinatra has been lights out. He's been nails all season long.
And another Gabe Russo kickoff into the end zone. And Sinatra on the year, 13 of 16 on
Back to the field.
field goals. He is 35 of 36 on extra points. And after that kick and the touchback, we've got another timeout. 24-7, ISU on top. We're back after this on KISU FM and ESPN+. Taking a look at out-of-town scores through the Big Sky Conference this afternoon. 2 games are final. Montana State beat Weber State 66-14, and Montana at home won by just 5 against Eastern Washington 29-24. Sac State leads Portland State 52-24 with 2 minutes to go there. Northern Colorado trailing NAU in the Skydome 35-10, and with 10:55 second quarter, UC Davis is up on Idaho in the Kibbe Dome 14-7. First down here, and here is a big run coming up out of the timeout, or I should say after the punt, or the kickoff, and that running back, that's 29. We're going to have to double check here, because I did not have 29 on my chart. They've changed a number on somebody, I think. Is that Misa? There's a ball loose.
Recovered by the Mustangs.
Ball loose. We did have one number change, 29 to 22. That was on the defensive side, though. That was Misa high out. So we've got a little issue with running back number 29 for Cal Poly. We're not showing a number for them, but we'll work our way through it. After that loose ball, it's going to be second down and 15 for Cal Poly from their own 39-yard line. Bengals up 24-7. 6:40 to go here in the third quarter. Diffenbach this time back to throw, and nearly picked off again by Idaho State. That pass intended for Brooks Wheatley, and that time it was that
Davion Ross returns to Boise, Idaho this month.
Nearly intercepted that one.
Yeah, errant throw by Diffenbach. Just never throw behind the receiver throwing it out. And right there, Davion Ross had a shot, but Diffenbach gets away with one there, but now facing a 3rd and long, and Idaho State's going to have to figure out a way to get off the field, because you know Diffenbach, if something isn't open, he's taking off and running.
Empty backfield, 3 receivers to his left, 2 to the right. That's the short side of the field. Diffenbach is going to step up. He's got to get to the Bengal 46, and he's not going to get there. He's going to go out of bounds at the ISU 48-yard line, about 2 yards short. So he needed 15. He got 13.
I think it's a no-brainer here.
I think they've got to go. I agree with you. I think Paul Wolf and this offense has to go for it. Trailing 24-7. They've really only threatened to score on that one drive right at the end of the right towards the end of the half.
Roll him out. Roll him out to the field here. Give him the option of checking down something underneath right at the sticks, and if it's not there, taking off and running and giving him some space over there.
Cal Poly 1 of 1 on 4th down. Diffenbach looks to throw. Diffenbach broke a tackle, goes down, and boy, it is close. They're going to give it to him, and I think he got it, but he very nearly went down shy. Now, if you look at the near side official, the line judge, he's a little bit behind the 46.
Yeah, I think he's got it.
I think he got it too, but are they going to measure?
Yeah.
You don't see this very often, but they are going to measure for this first down. I think he's there. If you look at the marker on the far sideline, let's see where his knee goes.
And it's very, the knee.
It's where the knee goes down and where the ball is.
And he went down on his own accord,
yeah.
And they usually err on the side of maybe a half yard behind where he decides to go down.
Right. I mean, if you're Cody,
look where his knee goes down, Scott. Like, I think it is short of that line. His knee's down there before he rolls, before his body rolls over, where the ball kind of ends up. Watch it. This is a really good view for it right here. See, knee's down there, and then he
falls a little behind. But unless replay sees something and changes it, they're going to give him the first down. And it doesn't appear that replay buzzed down to our referee today, Greg Wilson.
Yeah, unless it's something you want to challenge.
I don't know if you know what, if you're Idaho State, I don't know if you challenge that one quite honestly.
And going off of what Cody said in your pregame interview with him, talking about Big Sky and the amount of camera angles, right? You might not have the camera angles to even give you definitive evidence.
So the ball at the Bengal 46, 1st and 10 here for Cal Poly. I like to bring that big tight end in there, and there is number 29 rushing the ball again. Let's see if they show. They're saying that's Misa Payao.
Stopped by the Bengals defense.
So Misa Payao, okay, is going to be the guy. Misa, see if I can pull up some rushing numbers on him. He had a couple of carries, but nothing of note, but we'll pull him up here now that we know he's going to be in the game. Here is going to be a throw by Diffenbach to the far side. That's to the tight end, Alec Marshall, out of Menlo Park, California. And he's going to be a yard shy of the first down.
Marshall is forced out of bounds.
Misa Payao had only carried the ball one time this season coming into the game tonight. He's carried it twice during this drive. So 3rd down and about a yard to go here. Got to get it to the Bengal 36-yard line. Makatuakoi checks in on the far side, now the right side of that defensive line. Cal Poly like to run over that left side. Tuakoi jumped, but did not get into the neutral zone. As Diffenbach works out of the pistol formation. He's going to take it himself, and Diffenbach is going to pick up the first down. Gets it down to the 32, calling a gain of about 5. Ty Diffenbach has really been the running game for Cal Poly here this afternoon, especially late second quarter. Right, he had that one drive where I think he carried it 5 out of the 7 plays.
Yeah, he was their whole touchdown drive, so why go away from it?
1st and 10 at the Bengal 32-yard line. 3 receivers out here to the near side. Diffenbach hit as he throws the ball, flutters, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, that was Cam Willis. I had my eyes on Cam Willis down here on the bottom of the screen. He was going to have his one-on-one matchup against the right tackle. Just a little speed duck move, and he got around him quickly. Diffenbach lucky to get rid of that one.
So it'll be 2nd down and 10 from the 32-yard line.
2nd down and 10.
Idaho State Bengals with 4:22 left in the 3rd quarter, leading 24-7. Looking for consecutive wins against Cal Poly. And here's Diffenbach. He wants to run again, and he's got another little chunk of about 5 yards.
Diffenbach with the keeper.
Ty Diffenbach continues to be a problem on the ground. That's now 11 rushes for 111 yards.
That's been this defense's kryptonite all year.
The running quarterback.
Yeah, right? Anthony Calandria, even Justin Lamson at Montana State got out and ran. It just seems like when they get out and scramble that there's a lot of open space.
Got an official's timeout, and it's an official's timeout. I'll let you know that this game broadcast is brought to you in part by Bear Lake Trailer Sales, offering new and used utility, cargo, and horse trailers, as well as sheds and truck beds for nearly 30 years. Right here, I was going to look at some of the numbers. Dason Brooks, 14 carries for 78 yards. So if you look at Dason's numbers, one of his goals, there's a great article in the Idaho State Journal this week by Brad Bugger talking with Dason Brooks. He really wants to get to 1,000 yards. Well, starting the day, he had 763. So if you add 78 to that, that's 841. With still a quarter.
Yeah, and you're playing with the lead here. He's gonna surpass the century mark this game, I have to imagine.
Well, he needs 159 the rest of the season to get to 1,000. You don't want to jinx the guy, but barring any injury, that's a pretty safe bet, I would guess. The Bengals next week will close out the home portion of their schedule here against Weber State for the Train Bell Trophy. And then the following week, 2 weeks from today, we'll be up in the Palouse in Moscow as Idaho State will wrap up the regular season as they battle for the Potato State Trophy against the Idaho Vandals. They owe the Vandals one, too. You can bingo. The Bengals feel like it's their time to finally get it. Cody Hawkins is 0-2 against Idaho the last 2 years. Colin Lewis checks in on that defensive front. As it's going to be 3rd down and about 5 here. Middle of the field, moving left to right are the Mustangs. They got split running backs, and they're going to give it over here to Tyree Washington, and he's going to get the first down.
Yeah,
Down at about the 20-yard line, or make it about the 18-yard line. Pardon me, about the 18-yard line.
I think they miss a blatant hold here out on the edge against Nathan Reynolds.
You know, there was a play, it was one of the long touchdown runs by Diffenbach, second quarter. We saw a replay, and there was a little grasping going on there. But look, you can call it on everything.
Yeah, but some of it on the interior, on the out on the outside, those usually get called. And I thought that one was pretty blatant on the outside.
Ball at the Bengal 18-yard line, 1st and 10. Michael Briscoe goes in motion across the formation, going to shoot for the end zone, and there's nobody home. And I don't know if the receiver fell down. There was a receiver that slipped down on the far side over there. Might have been Wheaton. No, it was number 6, pardon me. It was number 6 for Cal Poly. That slipped down. That's Fidel Pitts. So it's going to be 2nd down and 10 for Cal Poly. Again, they're at the ISU 18-yard line. Got the tight end Marshall pulling over to his left. There's a inside run, Tyree Washington, and Nate Reynolds wrapped around his ankles and did not let go and stopped him for just a gain of about a yard. So tremendously big 3rd down play coming up here for this ISU defense.
Let's make some noise.
You know what they're going to want to do.
Yeah. I mean, is it too late in the game to try to set up a spy on Diffenbach and have somebody just kind of clued in on him?
No, it's not too late. You have that in your base defense in case you need to go to the running quarterback.
Well, and Diffenbach has it. Diffenbach gets outside, but he's not going to get the 1st down. I think he's going to be just a little bit shy. Let's see.
With the keeper.
Yeah, he's going to be stopped at the 14. He went out of bounds just a step shy.
13-yard line.
Or make it the 13-yard line. It's going to be 4th down here. They're going to bring the field goal team
4th down and 5.
You got to feel like that's a win for Idaho State. Trying to see who's going to kick the field goal. They have a couple of guys, Noah Cerna and this is going to be 38, Noah Cerna. This will be from 31 yards. He's 2 of 2 on the season. We got a whistle.
It's going to be a delay game.
This is great, too. They've got the Hall of Fame bust for Jared Allen on the video board behind the uprights to try to distract the kicker. And one thing about Idaho State, they put up some pretty cool little graphics back there when there's a field goal or an extra point try for the opponent. So Cerna being stared down here by, and now they say that's 34 maybe. Hard to see the number for sure. He's turned sideways. But the field goal try now from 36 yards. The kick is on the way, and that kick is good. 2:07 to go here. And a nice drive by the Mustangs as they pick up a score. And we've got a timeout on the field. 24-10. Bengals lead. The Mustangs will back after this timeout on KISU FM and ESPN+. Idaho State University Athletics broadcasts are brought to you in part by the Idaho Immunization Coalition, reminding Bengal fans to talk with their health care providers about staying up to date on wellness immunizations. Serious diseases such as measles, mumps, rubella, polio, whooping cough, and the flu can be preventable through vaccination. An immunized Idaho is a healthy Idaho. Get more information at idahoimmunizationcoalition.org. Scott Gross, Cody Graves with you here in Pocatello. Idaho State trying to pick up their 2nd home win of the season and break a 2-game home losing streak. The last 2 home games, a loss to Montana, a heartbreaker, and loss on homecoming day to Northern Arizona. 15 plays, 57 yards, 5:37 on that field goal scoring drive by the Mustangs of Cal Poly. They've cut this down to a 2-possession game, 24-10. Idaho State will go back on offense here, and Cody Graves, who's standing out to you here as we come towards the end of the third quarter? Any particular player standing out on either side for player of the game that we'll award later?
You know, I like what, I don't know if they have the stats to give a player of the game, but I like what the slots have done in Damian Morgan and Jonah Burton specifically. And it seemed like the game plan was to attack the safeties for Cal Poly, and they're doing that, and they're getting open in big situations and big third downs.
Well, we'll see what happens here as Idaho State has slots on either side. They're going to give it to Dason Brooks, and Dason turns his way out across out near the 30-yard line. So it's going to be a gain of 5.
Second down and
It'll be
5.
second down and 5 as we go under 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter.
I can tell you that Dason Brooks will be the most important player in this backstretch going into the fourth quarter, because if Idaho State wants to close this game out, it's going to be on the back of Dason Brooks.
And send a receiver in motion. That's Dane Morgan. He'll join 2 other receivers over there on the right side of the formation. And here's Dason Brooks, and he's going to pick up another chunk. Got hit at the 29, spun
Brooks
off,
with the carry,
and
picks
fell
up 6
forward
yards on the play,
to
and back for
the
another
31-yard
first
line. And out there leading the charge on the block, Cheese, Messiah Moye. That left guard, low to the ground. Actually, it looked like they have Cheese. They've got Cheese over at the right guard right now for Idaho State. They'll move around that line. He can play center as well. Here's Dason Brooks again, and Brooks is free. And Dason Brooks popped as he gets to the 45-yard line. He might get just across to the 46, but they're going to say stopped at the 45. So after a Mountain America Credit Union first down now, they pick up 9 yards. And it'll be second down and just a yard to go for another
from their own
Mountain
45-yard
America
line.
Credit Union first down. 30 seconds to go here as this clock is ticking down on this third quarter. Bengals lead 24-10. This time it's Jordan Cook, and Jordan Cook stays on his feet. He's into Cal Poly territory as he gets it down to the Mustang 43-yard line. That's going to be a gain of 12 yards. I like what I see from Jordan Cook today. He looks like he is a confident runner.
Decisive.
That's a great word too, absolutely. And that's going to take us, will it take us? Yeah, it's going to take us to the end of the third quarter. Here in Pocatello, Idaho State leads the Cal Poly Mustangs at the end of 3, 24-10. Fourth quarter coming up after this timeout on KISU FM and ESPN+. About to get underway, fourth quarter from the ICCU Dome. And at the end of 3, the numbers favoring the Idaho State Bengals. 382 total yards, 23 first downs, 245 through the air. And when you look at Jordan Cook's numbers today, 22 of 32, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. And Ty Diffenbach, 12 of 21 with 1 touchdown, or 1 interception and no touchdown passes. Idaho State will have it first and 10 here. Going to be at the 43-yard line of Cal Poly. They're going to throw a swing pass out here to Dason Brooks. Nicely read. Beautiful defensive play in the open field. And that was going to be Boston Wilson, the cornerback out of Pomona, California, with just great execution defensively. Cody Graves can't ask for anything better.
Yeah, and Idaho State had the numbers. They liked it over there, but Wilson just beats Mike Shulikoff's block just right off the get-go before Dason Brooks even catches it. And once he catches it, he's there to make the play behind the line of scrimmage.
So second down and 12 now for ISU from the Mustang 45-yard line as they flip the field, move left to right. Here's an inside slant, and they're going to get the pass complete. And they're going to give him 5 yards on that completion to Zion Nunnally. Zion, also a Santa Rosa kid. California guy. I tell you, a lot of California players. I was noticing when I went through the starters for Cal Poly doing their 2 deeps, I don't know if there was anybody outside the state of California.
I mean, a talent-rich state like that, and a place that has strict academic requirements like UC Davis and Cal Poly, 95% of their players are from California.
Third down and 7. They actually gave him the 39-yard line. So third down and 7. All day to throw, and coming back to the near side, and a great catch and throw. Mike Shulikoff, and You know, you talked about last year, the last couple years, the Bengals had a guy named Christian Fredrickson that made those tough catches. Shulikov has really kind of slid into that spot, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. He has to be that go-to guy when you need it. And last year you had Fredrickson and Jeff Weimer, and you worried about them leaving, but your outside receivers between Nunnally and Shulikov are absolutely phenomenal.
That's a Mountain America Credit Union first down catch, and the line of scrimmage at the 24-yard line here for Idaho State on a 1st and 10. Morgan, Shulikov near side. And it's an inside handoff, and just going off left tackle there is going to be Dason Brooks, and he'll pick up a couple down to the 22-yard line. Dason Brooks, if those stats that I'm looking at have not updated, that would be 100 yards. If they are, he's 2 yards. There it is, 18 rushes, 100 yards for Dason Brooks today. And you wondered if a guy who ran for 219 last week could follow it up? Let's see, yeah.
I can't imagine how sore you'd be after a game. I guess he didn't get hit that much, but still just the amount of volume.
It's the muscle soreness, like, you know, below the pads. You've been there, right? And you got padding on, but you still get hurt. Here is Jonah Burton on that jet sweep, and he gets a lead block from Dason Brooks, and I don't think he's going to get a whole lot out of it. A yard or two. Did they give him? Well, they got him down near just inside the 20. So we'll call it 2 yards there. It'll be a 3rd down and 6. 12 minutes, 15 seconds to go here. 24-10, Idaho State with the lead. They've run that jet sweep now. That's a couple of times today for Jonah Burton. He's a guy who's also battled some injuries this season, but he's been pretty healthy the last 3 weeks.
Don't force anything here. Making this a 3-score lead is more important to get a touchdown.
Trying to set up a screen. They get Dame Morgan. He broke a tackle, and Damian Morgan is going to get the first down for Idaho State as he slipped the first tackle and then really did the rest of it on his own.
Great job by Morgan catching the slip screen from the boundary there. Cal Poly had it read. Had a guy there to, and that's Messiah Moye making a huge block, going and making another one. Great job by 53, Messiah Moye there. He was the one that sprung it.
That's a Mountain America Credit Union first down, and the Bengals in the red zone here on a 1st and 10 from the Mustang 11-yard line. Dason Brooks moved from the left to the right in the backfield off the side of Jordan Cook. And here's Dason Brooks, and he's into the second level, staying on his feet. And he's going to pick up just about 4 yards, maybe 5, down to the 6, watching the side judge on the far side. We'll call it a gain of, and we're going to call it a gain of 5. It's about that close to the 6-yard line. So it's going to be 2nd down from there, 2nd and 5.
Idaho State can just grind one out, run the ball, take the time in between snaps, and get into the end zone here. That would be really demoralizing for Cal Poly to go down 31-10. Have a long, grueling drive like this.
Idaho State, Dason Brooks pops outside, and he can't get away, and he's going to get a yard out of it down to the 5-yard line.
Dason Brooks
Last run by Brooks, they said
picks up 1 yard on the play.
Made the stop. He got it wrapped up here.
3rd and 4.
Same guy, that's Breedlove. Also got a little help from one of his teammates out there, and here is Jordan Cook. He's going to run it. Jordan Cook trying to get to the 1-yard line. They needed to get to the 1 to get the first down, but I think that's going to bring out Trajan Sinatra, you would think. And now penalty flags all over the place, so let's see. This is going to be a post-play penalty, right? And there were a lot of penalties, and usually those result in somebody doing something or saying something they shouldn't have. Officials huddle up out here about the 10-yard line. Greg Wilson, our referee this afternoon. 9 minutes, 57 seconds left in the game. The ball is spotted at the 3-yard line of Cal Poly, as Idaho State would need 2 yards for a first down. Greg Wilson runs into Messiah Moye, so we got a dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct, and it's going to go where? They're going to run it on the offense. Oh, there's going to be 2 of them. They're going to offset. But, So it's going to be 4th down and 2 to go for Idaho State. They lead it 24-10 here. And yeah, here comes Trajan Sinatra. That's a no-brainer right there. I mean, you're this close. You got a chance to make it a three-score game, right? Yeah.
I was questioning my own logic there for a second when Cody Hawkins maybe looked like they were going for it, because I would not put my ball knowledge up with Cody Hawkins.
Right.
So I started running out the scenarios in my head there.
So from the near or from the far side hash, this is going to be a 20-yard chip shot, basically an extra point. The kick from Sinatra splits the uprights, and Idaho State puts 3 more points on the board. Idaho State now has extended the lead 27-10, 9:54 left in the game. We're back after this timeout on KISU FM and ESPN+. The Idaho Transportation Department reminds Bengal fans that when taking eyes away from driving for just 5 seconds, a person has traveled the length of a football field without seeing the road. Well, the Bengals answer back that 15-play drive by Cal Poly with a 14-play, 72-yard drive of their own that took 7 minutes and 13 seconds off the clock and resulted in a 20-yard Trajan Sinatra field goal to make the lead 27-10. This kick is going to be returned and will not make it to the 25. Let's see if that was. Yeah, it was. That was Brooks Wheatley with the return. And so with 9 minutes, 47 seconds to go in the game, it will be Cal Poly with the ball trailing at 27-10. We're back after this time out on KISU FM and ESPN+.
To become a member of the ISU alumni.
And the Idaho State University Bengal Athletic Boosters present the 2025 Football Challenge. It's punt, pass, kick, and snap. And that is for kids 1st through 8th grades going on here on Monday, November 10th. That's this coming Monday from 5:30 to 7:30. Chance to come out and compete. Meet some ISU registration form at isubengals.com.
They added snap to punt, pass, and kick?
Yeah, they added the snap to it. You're going to get an extra skill. Ty Diffenbach is trying to check out his running skills, and on this play, it's not going to be there. As coming up to make the play was this week's Marcus Jackson jersey awardee, number 25 this week, Cam Willis.
Yeah, Cam Willis, just a counter move on it, spins back to the inside.
So it's going to be second down here, and here is another running play, and this time Davion Ross is up there to make the first contact on second down and 12 from the 18-yard line of Cal Poly. They're going to get 4 yards out of that run. Nate Reynolds leads all tacklers with 6 today, along with Bronson Childs. Gabe Tahir has 5 for Idaho State. This defense has been pretty solid today for the most part. Diffenbach on 3rd and 8 wants to throw. Now he wants to run. He gets hit.
Yeah.
And it's coming up and putting that hit on was Taylor Tuioti. He's going to be shy of the first down. It's going to be fourth down.
Yeah, when you, if I was a quarterback, I know you don't want a head first slide,
right,
but when you go that feet first slide, they really take you back, because really where the ball was, where he landed, was probably right around the sticks, but they err on the side of caution. They don't give you the benefit of the doubt.
Yep. It's where you give yourself up.
Yeah.
And Paul Wolf says, look, we can't afford it here. We've got to punt it away, but also going to have a timeout to think about it. So 8 minutes, 10 seconds remaining here. And again, we'll look ahead to next week for this Idaho State football team. It's hard to imagine. Final home game next week against Weber State. And we'll talk more about that as we get towards the end of the game. But right now, we've got to take a break. 27-10, Bengals on top, 8:10 to go. We're back after this time out on KISU, FM, and ESPN+. As we went to break, we were talking about the upcoming schedule for Idaho State. Weber State here at home next week, then at Idaho. If the Bengals win out, they would finish with 4 in a row, 5-3 in the Big Sky. Haven't done that in 7 years. And like I say, go 6-6 on the season, Cody.
Yeah, which would be an improvement on the win total of last year, and considering how hard this schedule is, that'd be a huge win.
4th down, they're going to go for it here. Paul Wolf decided from his own 28, and now Cody Hawkins and the Bengals coaching staff have called a timeout here. They nearly caught, well, I don't want to say they caught anybody sleeping, but when we went to the break, obviously. So let's kind of go back to that a little bit. We kind of got through that quick. But if ISU could go 5-3 in the Big Sky Conference, first time since 2018, and go 6-6 on the season. Look, we've said all year long, Cody, 5-7 this year, matching last year's 5-win total. What this schedule would be an improvement.
Yeah, and I mean, it goes to show you just scheduling, right? Like, I can tell you there's never been a year that Montana or Montana State have been 5-3 in conference and they don't make the playoff just because they set their schedule up. You know, they're non-con because they're, you know, they have the resources and they schedule other 1AA schools that are, you know, they pay 1AA schools to come play them to get a Division I win but next year, schedule sets up a lot better for Idaho State. So if Idaho State go 5-3 next year in conference, you're looking at a playoff team and probably a top 20 football team in the country.
Good chance of that. So here we go, 4th down and 2 from the Bengal 28-yard line. Cal Poly down 27-10 with 8 minutes and 10 seconds left. We're going to go for it here. Diffenbach goes back. He fires. He's going to have the catch and the first down out at the 32-yard line. Got that pass to Fidel Pitts, junior out of Stockton, California. So that'll take the ball to the 32-yard line of Idaho State and a first down. And not only that, I mean, you know, just the emotions of a big finish for Idaho State for their team and for recruiting.
Imagine the momentum.
Yeah. So trips out to the right side here for Diffenbach as he's going to fire a pass, and it's Michael Briscoe, and he is dropped right away by Davion Ross. And Davion is that nickelback guy. He backs up the true freshman Trey Shorty. And Davion, a senior, has taken on that role. He's actually a graduate student. He has taken on that role, and I give him a lot of credit.
Yeah, and he's played really well when he's been in there. I think they've been able to use him at safety and in that nickel corner spot.
2nd down and 9. Diffenbach with a pass, and that's going to be incomplete.
Might have got away with one there.
Bronson Childs holding his hands up in exultation like, okay.
Oh, they didn't
through that one. Is there a flag there? No, I don't see one.
Oh, I saw it on the screen, didn't see it out there.
3rd down and 9 for Cal Poly. They're at their own 33-yard line. 7 minutes, 10 seconds to go. Clock is stopped here in the 4th quarter, and Idaho State with a 27-10 lead. Receiver in motion. They're set up over on the right side. Pressure coming. Diffenbach dumps the pass off. That's probably going to be a hold as the pass is going to be complete over here across the 40 to about the 42-yard line. Big group of Bengals wrapped up the receiver. That is Logan Bowen. If there's a penalty flag in the backfield, I got to believe that's in the area of a hold.
And I think it was holding whoever was blocking Cam Willis here.
Cam Willis will make you a hold. It is a hold against Cal Poly. So if you're Idaho State, you got to take that. I mean, if you'd have stopped them maybe after just a 3 or 4 yard gain, you might say, hey, let's go 4th down. But they're going to back them up here, play the yardage game, and that's smart. Tied different, and you can see, a little bit of a hold there just on the outside. Maybe not the most egregious violation.
There's been a couple that haven't got called that are worse than that. So if that's your parameter,
it all comes out in the wash. Is basically what it is. So the ball back to the 23-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and 19 here. They've got to get it out to the to their own 42-yard line. Diffenbach under pressure, whips a pass underneath, and trying to hurdle a man, and this won't work this time, as it is going to be Trey Shorty. He trips up Brooks Wheatley, and as soon as Wheatley went up, you could see Shorty just squared himself and said, not today. A true freshman, Trey Shorty.
Thought his hops were a little better than they were there.
So it's going to be 4th down and 9. They've got to go for it here from their own 33-yard line. Do the Mustangs. 6 minutes to go in the game. They've got to get it to their own 42-yard line here. Bengals with a 3-score lead. Diffenbach setting up, now wants to run. Diffenbach is going to get the first down. He moved his way around and got that first down and gets it out to the 47-yard line. He picked up 14 on the 3rd and 9. I thought at first they had him contained, but it's pretty shifty.
And that was the response to QB scramble. They only bring 3 there just to have another underneath defender, Cam Willis. They just need to tandem tackle and just play your leverage there.
So the ball at the 47 of Cal Poly. They'll bring it to Michael Briscoe here on the near sideline, and he's going to stay on his feet. Gabe Tahir trying to bring him down. Nate, I think that's Nate Reynolds. Yeah, finally came in and finished him off, but not before he gets all the way to the Bengal 35-yard line. So that's going to be 18 yards and a first down for Cal Poly. So first down here from the 35. Diffenbach runs straight up the middle. Kendrick Sanders, I should say. Breaks the tackle. He's going to pick up 12. Somebody had a grasp of his white undershirt there, or part of his jersey, and it ripped away. That allowed Sanders to break free. We got a Bengal down over here around the 20-yard line. And it's Dustin Inslinger again out on the field, the head trainer for Idaho State. 4 minutes, 47 seconds remaining here. In Pocatello, 27-10. The Bengals with the lead. Paul Wolf checking things out. Paul Wolf is really, he's been around the Big Sky Conference here, and he is pretty well respected.
Cal Poly came out of the triple option era with Walsh that they were for so long, and that was your identity, right? Where you didn't really have skill players. You had the running backs and the fullbacks and the tight little motion. And coming out of that era, they hired Bo Baldwin, who had so much success at Eastern Washington, and tried to be a high-flying attack and just never really got going. And Paul Wolf just trying to revitalize and give this program an identity, which I think he's done.
Cal Poly will be at Northern Arizona next week. They finish up 2 weeks from today at home against Eastern Washington. So the Mustangs with a 1st and 10 here at the Bengal 23-yard line. Ty Diffenbach looking to throw, stepping up, and now he's hit, and now he breaks free again. He was sacked that time for sure, it seemed, and then scrambles and gets down inside the 20 to about the 16-yard, I think at the 17-yard line.
Missed opportunities right now for Idaho State. Cam Wills good off the edge, along.
Yeah, and he had
Grant Hessler.
Yeah, Grant Hessler. And they just could not wrap up Ty Diffenbach. He's 6'6", 220, a redshirt sophomore. He had rushed 41 times for 175 yards coming in. He was only 11th in the Big Sky Conference in total offense per game at 148.6. He's bettered that today. 3:45 clock ticking down. 2nd down, and let's call it 3. Diffenbach sets his feet, fires a pass, incomplete, far side. Trey Shorty on the coverage, trying to get it to Brooks Wheatley. Well, let's take a look. Ty Diffenbach, he's got 144 yards rushing today, and he has 153 passing, 297. The 6'6" redshirt sophomore. So it's going to be 3rd down and about 3 here. They got to get it to the Bengal 14-yard line to keep this possession alive, but look, they've got 2 downs. We know that. Down by 17 points and 3.5 minutes to go. And the pass over here to the near side going to be completed. That looked to be Michael Briscoe with the reception. No, it wasn't. It was the tight end, Alec Marshall.
Alec Marshall.
Alec Marshall
picks up 3 yards on the
today. Got just enough for the first down. They have Marshall in there a lot to block, but he has caught 3 passes today. Set that up. Yeah, 3 catches for 17 yards on the day for Alec Marshall from Menlo Park, California. 1st and 10 here from the 13 of Idaho State for Cal Poly. And this is Diffenbach, and this time he gets swarmed under. And I mean, that was a swarm of Bengals who got there and wrapped him up. Leathers in on the help. Also Bronson Childs. I think Colin Lewis was there.
I'm expecting a little more sense of urgency with this being a 3-possession game. You're creeping on the 2-minute warning.
And only 2 timeouts.
I've got to think you'd want to go a little bit faster if you're Paul Wolf here.
3 receivers out to the right for Ty Diffenbach, and a diving catch and a reception for the touchdown to the far side. That's going to go to Fidel Pitts. Yep, Fidel Pitts with his 2nd receiving touchdown of the year. Let's take a look as we get into the end zone here. And a nice throw by Ty Diffenbach.
That's a really good throw there down the seam, keeping it low, protecting his receiver. Only place he can go get it.
Got it right between Ryland Leathers and Trey Shorty there on the backside. So it's going to be the extra point here to try to make it a 10-point game. It's 27-16 as we speak. 15 plays, 80 yards on that drive, 7 minutes, 20 seconds. The pass to Fidel Pitts, and the extra point is up and good. So with 2 minutes, 27 seconds left, it is Idaho State 27 and the Cal Poly Mustangs 17. Both of these teams, sort of here in the 4th quarter, late 3rd and early 4th quarter, have put together long, time-consuming drives. And you just made the point. I really thought Cal Poly would go a little quicker because they still got to get 2 scores here. They are going to get the 2-minute timeout plus the 2 they have.
Yeah, and then, granted, they scored a touchdown right after that. So I mean, they could have very well went down to the 2-minute warning before they scored, but shoulda, coulda, woulda. It didn't, and now you got 2.5 minutes to work with. Does that now put you in a position where you're going to kick an onside here?
Well, I think
with it being a 2-possession game, I think you have to take the chance now.
And the Bengals think so because look at all the hands guys out there.
Yeah, I think it's a must.
So here we go. Going to be an onside kick, we believe. On the far side, you've got Carson Sudbury. You've got Jonah Burton over there on the far side of the field. They have 3 guys outside the hash, right? Or 4 on each side of the hash. And they've got 3 in the middle, the Bengals. And there's the big roller, and it's going to be tucked in and taken by Idaho State.
An onside kick
So
recovered by the
that
Bengals.
will talk about our player of the game here, our Idaho Immunization Coalition player of the game. And this was actually pretty easy. It's Idaho State's quarterback Jordan Cook today, 27 of 37, 275 yards, 9 carries on the afternoon as well. Taking a look at his numbers here, for 38 yards. And he has racked up the touchdowns on the afternoon. He had a rushing touchdown, a passing touchdown. And unfortunately, that group right there. And here is Jordan Cook, and he's really played well consistently now. These last 2 games.
Yeah, and he's been really efficient today, and didn't put the ball in many positions that were in any danger, and he ran the ball more effective than I've ever seen him run the ball here as a Bengal.
So we've got, that should be Davis Harson in at quarterback, and it is, and Davis Harson says, well, Jordan, you can run, so can I. He picks up 10 yards, and just like that, it's a Mountain America Credit Union first down. Davis Harson, the son of Brian Harson, who's now coaching down at Cal Berkeley. Harson, 6'1", 194, redshirt freshman out of Eagle, Idaho. He got some time early in the season when Jordan Cook was out with that injury. And that'll take us to the 2-minute timeout. 27-17, Idaho State with the lead. We're back after this timeout on KISU-FM and ESPN+. Idaho State with the football here coming out of the 2-minute timeout. 27-17, Bengals on top of Cal Poly. Idaho State will have it 1st and 10 at the Cal Poly 36-yard line. Davis Harson in at quarterback, got 3 receivers grouped over to the far side, and Harson with another run, and Davis Harson is going to pick up 7 yards.
Picks up 6 or 7 yards.
About 7 yards down to the 29-yard line. Well, the Mountain View Event Center is a multi-purpose facility in Pocatello for all things sports. You can get more information at meceventcenter.com. So the Idaho State Bengals here now trying to close this out with 90 seconds left. There are a couple of timeouts on the board for Paul Wolf, but he doesn't seem to be in any hurry to use them.
Yeah, that's odd he didn't use one there.
So Idaho State 2nd down and 3 here from the 29-yard line of Cal Poly. And here's Davis Harson again, and Harson's going to have the first down, take it down to the 25-yard line. That's going to take it down to 1:09 to go.
That's game right there.
Yep, that is the game. Mikey D'Amato made the stop there for Cal Poly. And they'll spot the ball at the 25 of the Mustangs, and as it goes down to 1 minute to go here, I mean, really, all the Bengals have to do is take a couple of knees there if Paul Wolf is not going to call the timeout, which it appears he won't. So a big win here for Idaho State this afternoon, as long as it holds here for 45 more seconds. But it'll be the first time under Cody Hawkins that Idaho State has defeated the same team in consecutive years. Last year, Idaho State won that on a walk-off field goal by Gabe Panikowski. That's another Mountain American Credit Union first down. And with 30 seconds to go, they haven't spotted the ball yet. Now they have. And the game clock and the play clock are about a half a second apart. So Jordan Cook's going to come back in. He's going to take the knee for the victory formation.
How about Davis Harson there?
Yeah, that's
the way you run the football.
Yeah, I mean, and Davis Harson knows his role. I mean, that's the beauty of this quarterback. And there are 3 or 4 guys that could play this position, right, and could start or be very effective. But they know their role, and that's going to do it. And 1 second, and the Idaho State Bengals at home break a 2-game home losing streak. They knock off the Mustangs of Cal Poly here this afternoon, 27-17. Idaho State will go to 4-6, 3-3 in Big Sky Conference play. Cal Poly will drop to 3-7 and 1-5 in Big Sky play for 2025 as the teams exchange handshakes out there on the ICCU Dome turf, Cascia Field. And a big win for Idaho State. You just felt like, I mean, there was a feeling around the program that they had to validate that win at Cal Davis last week, and they did exactly that. Should have some final stats coming your way here momentarily as Idaho State, our player of the game, Jordan Cook, just a solid effort today at the quarterback position. As you can see, the updated standings here, Idaho State now 3-3 on the season in Big Sky Conference play. And boy, I mean, now with their big rival coming in next week, Cal Poly is going to drop to 1-5. They'll join Weber State, Portland State, Northern Colorado in that bottom 4. And if you're Idaho State, Cody, I mean, they know the playoffs are coming. They lost that game in Northern Arizona. That really sealed their fate there. But this team still looks like it's playing with some urgency and playing with some pride the last 2 weeks after that tough loss.
Yeah, they defended their home turf. You got that conference home win you needed to get a good turnout against Weber State. That's a big game next week. You know, it wasn't perfect by any means, but Idaho State came in, they took care of business, both sides of the ball, made plays when they needed to, and and you did what you needed to do, and you really controlled the game from start to finish. They never gave up the lead, and yeah, and credit to Idaho State. Cal Poly played well at times, and Idaho State's got some stuff to fix, but looking real good and some momentum coming into this back part of the season that'll pay dividends in the offseason.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights from this afternoon, and there were several. Take a look at the ISU cheerleaders, but that was a crazy play. It was Colin Lewis for Idaho State who knocked that pass down by Ty Diffenbach, and it came right back to him, and then that diving catch out there by Fidel was just a great throw by Ty Diffenbach, and now Jordan Cook with this pass on the far side to Damian Morgan. Damian had a solid day today for Idaho State as well. And then this touchdown run by Dason Brooks. He had another solid performance today for Idaho State. 106 yards rushing, and here's that interception. That really changed everything. Mike Lindsay intercepting that pass on the first possession of the second half by Cal Poly was big, and then of course that was the first touchdown of the day. Mike Shulikoff from Jordan Cook really kind of set the tone here early on, and that's 2 weeks in a row Idaho State has scored on their first possession, and it's really led to a big momentum shift.
Yeah, absolutely, and the defense played well. This Cal Poly offense isn't what UC Davis's offense was, but anytime you can hold a team in the Big Sky to 17 points, your defense played well, and your offense didn't have to put 45 points up to win the game, and credit to Grant Duff and this defense for doing that, and coming up in big spots.
Very quickly, a couple of defensive stats. We talk about the offensive guys. We talked about Mike D'Amato, guy to watch today. He had 12 total tackles and 1 tackle for a loss for Cal Poly. And for Idaho State, Bronson Childs gave to here. Nathan Reynolds led the way with 7 tackles. Each Taylor Tuioti had half a dozen. So Hall of Fame weekend here at Idaho State University, and the Bengals make their Hall of Famers proud today, as you see Cody Hawkins on the field, as Idaho State picks up their second consecutive win. They even their Big Sky record at 3-3, and they will wrap it up next week as they host the Weber State Wildcats in the battle for the Train Bell Trophy here on ESPN Plus next Saturday. Final score again from Pocatello: Idaho State 27 and Cal Poly 17. For our entire ESPN crew and my partner Cody Graves, I'm Scott Gross saying so long, everyone. Okay, Lindbergh, yeah, do 2 minutes here. Do 2 minutes, and then we'll come back and do our post.